ready to make some grandpas mad?
Let's do it.
This 1975 Bronco has a classic design.
It's been through 2 ex-wives and still got to keep hold on it.
Oh, yeah. This makeshift roof ain't gonna cut it.
Man, that's the downfall of custom. It has never stopped.
Always something to do.
Always.
Oh my God, Bill.
Is that low enough or what?
Dude.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Busier and busier. We got a lot of cars in here, and we need more room to bring in more cars. That's exactly what we're doing. Need more room? We're going to make more room. You know, started out doing a little trade job here and there. Got a little more concrete. Built an awning. Ended up enclosing it. And now we're about, 22,000 square feet. That's not enough. So we're putting down some new concrete in front of the interior shop. Eventually, we'll cover this thing up and fill it full of lifts. Thank God I got customers like Marcos, got a huge concrete company. We're doing a little work for him, doing a little work for us, do a little trade, little barter deal. Here we are expanding. It's one of those win-win deals. We get to expand and we get to work on Marcos's next project.
That thing's bad.
From the first project Marcos brought in, years and years ago until the latest.
Golly. I don't even know what to say, brother.
This guy is not only a good customer, but he became a really good friend of mine. And, what better to work on, the latest and greatest project for a good friend of yours. What's up, man?
What's up, Bill?
You finally got you one.
I told you I was going to get one.
Marco's been talking about old Ford for quite some time. It looks like he finally found the perfect one for him. This 1968 was the 4th generation of this F100. Older ones had a more rounded hood, but as you can see, trucks is as good a shape as this.
It looks all right, but not good enough for me.
It's perfect, but it's not perfect for you.
Exactly. Everyone that can have a classic truck, but not a classic custom, because a lot of people, they don't like to, cut into a nice classic looking truck like that. It's going to be an easy project for you.
Oh, here we go. Let me guess, under the hood, there's not enough power.
Nope.
Not low enough.
Nope.
Don't have the right wheels and tires.
Nope.
How'd I know this already?
You already know him. It's just too classic.
Because we built Marcos a project about, once a year, I already know what this thing's going to look like before he even talks about it. I think 24 by 8s on the front, 24 by 15s on the back. Get this thing really low down to the
really low on the ground.
See what you got under the hood of this thing. Marcos, you got you a V8 underneath here already.
The V8?
But back in 1968 when this thing was new, it was probably plenty of power.
Back then?
Now, no. This ain't gonna cut, especially for you.
Yeah.
Man, I think the best thing to do is just rip all this out. Instead of trying to upgrade this to give you more power, let's just rip this thing out, put a late model Coyote in this thing,
right?
And then we'll put a supercharger on top of that also.
I like that. I like
that. So you got, not only enough power.
Well, I like that.
Well, let's see what you got in the interior.
All right. What do you think?
It's a good looking truck, man. It's solid.
It's clean, but I still want you to make them different.
Just wake it up a little bit. Still keep that classic look and just add a couple little custom touches.
Right.
New gauges in this thing.
Right.
Man, I love the two colors. I love the green and the brown. They look really good together. Get rid of the white on the door panel. Make a custom door panel.
Right.
Brown leather to really make it have that custom look.
And don't forget about my AC.
Oh, no.
I need AC on this thing.
I know you got to ride cool in this thing for sure.
So what do you think on the bed?
To get the stance right on this thing with such a big wheel and tire combo, it's going to be low to the ground. So in order to do that, we're going to have to remake the fender wells in the back of this come up a lot higher. And of course, with those wide tires, a lot wider. The differential is going to come up a lot higher, so we'll have to raise this bed floor up so you don't see a big hole in there.
Right.
Still have that classiness with the custom look.
I told you I was going to make it easier on you on the next one.
Yeah, it's way easier, right? You know, no matter what it is, it isn't fast enough. It isn't big enough, low enough. He has to have just such his cars. This one's no different.
So I'll come by and pick them up next week.
Yeah, right. Come on. We'll see you soon, though. Marcos is back again. Longtime customer, has become a really good friend of mine. And, you know, the old saying, good ain't good enough, that's definitely the case with Marcos, because this truck is a lot of people's dream just the way it is. This 68 Ford, it's already been to a restoration shop. I mean, somebody's already gone through this thing and put it back pretty much factory and original, which is great for us. Getting it in this shape, we only got to make it cool now. We don't have to go back and fix rust, you know, make panels line up. We're not concerned with that at all. We're just going to make this thing have the right stance, the right engine, and the right wheels and tires. Marcos is a car connoisseur. Good ain't good enough for him. He wants this thing immaculate, something cool, unique going down the road. We're going to take this 68 Ford and just make it a rolling piece of cool art driving down the road.
I saw Marcos pull up there.
Pretty much a perfect truck, right?
That's a really nice truck.
Real nice.
So true Marcos fashion. You're gonna take a truck that's already restored, already looks good, already runs and drives. He wants to cut it up, make it better.
That's it. This thing doesn't ride good, doesn't drive good. You know, it's got a nice V8 in this thing, but there ain't no way.
Yeah.
We put a brand new Coyote in this thing, over 400 horsepower, just the engine. But then we're going to put a supercharger on it, too. You know, that's what he's got to have.
So Marcos wants to go fast.
Right.
No.
You know, we're going to make a brand new chassis, bumper to bumper, all out of rectangle tubing. So it's going to be super rigid. This thing, I go through the corners, you know, like a race car.
Just getting rid of that front suspension is going to be a huge factor on this truck. This
This thing's scary to drive at 80 miles an hour. You know, as far as the interior, it looks nice. It has that classic look, which he wants to keep, but just a couple of custom touches all throughout. I love the brown and green together, so we're going to keep that color inside, but we're going to recover the seat, add custom door panels, and new carpet in it. You know, of course, Texas, you got to have the AC in it too. Yep. And to give room for those big 24s that are on the back of these things, we're going to have to build big, tall wheel tubs and wide wheel tubs. So what we're going to do is raise the bed floor in it so it matches the interior.
Man, this is going to be like the grandpa that bought the truck brand new and took care of it all of his life and gave it to the grandson as a gift. And the next time the grandson comes to the house, it's laid out on the ground, big wheels, motor, all obnoxious.
That reminds me of me when I was 16. My dad gave me a good-looking, perfect truck, the 83 Chevy N86, and I just tore it up.
Oh, no.
So he was mad at me. He's still looking down mad at me on now. Y'all ready to make some grandpas mad?
Let's do it. Ready?
First things first, this is what I want to do is unbolt the cab front end and pick it up off the chassis and just roll it completely out. We're not going to use any of that at all.
I just can't believe it's the last time it's going to be together. It being this nice. Man. Here we go.
Let's take the bed off.
Come on, Matt. Give us a hand.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Just take the bolt out? Oh, I see what it is. That's good, Tim. Basically because someone decided it'd be a good idea to weld the exhaust hanger to the bed structure. So when you're fabricating like an exhaust, you definitely don't want to put the hanger on the body. You want to go off the frames, because if you ever need to pull a bed, you'd have to cut the exhaust. But first cut, got that out the way. Let's get the bed off. Going down. 1, 2, 3.
Gotta go down.
Oh, all right. Look how clean this is, though, man. Can you appreciate that for a moment? It's not all greasy. It's not all dirty. It's nice. That only took 10 minutes to destroy a classic truck.
Your grandpa would be mad.
Grandpa would be mad. It is what it is. On to the new life.
You know, other people's custom might look good from the top, but underneath, we got these have sheet metal screws running down through the bed, holding the wood down. It might look good from the top, but it's dangerous underneath this thing. Building a nice car isn't just, you know, what's on the outside. It's what's on the inside, what's underneath. You know, was feeling really bad about, you know, Marcos's truck looking really clean, really nice, really original, but that is definitely not the case. We're going to add a 5.0 Coyote to the 68 Ford Ranger. So we're going to build a custom chassis rigid enough to handle all that extra power. You know, in any project, you got to have this perfect platform. And that's exactly what we're doing, building a chassis for this thing. You know, this is going to be a major improvement for this old truck. The older chassis have a lot of flex and play, which, you know, adds to the longevity of the truck. This one isn't going to do that. We're going just total performance and ride quality on this. We're not worried about if the truck's going to work fine on the ranch 50 years from now. Not a concern. The very back with 8 inches, so it's a really weird shape. And if we're going to raise the floor up, might not do it like that. You know, normally when we build the frame back up over the axle and then back down to the bed floor. But in this case, we're going to raise the whole bed floor. So it kind of looks weird if we build the frame up, around, and back down. We're going to have to build super tall bed mounts to come up and catch the bed. That's something we don't want. So a more custom look would just be the frame coming back, going up over the axle, and then straight back. It's just going to give us a lot more room underneath there, a lot more room for the fuel cell, suspension, all the air components, and give that bed a real custom look. Now that Bill's figured out the way he wants to build this frame, it's time to start cutting it up. Basically what we're going to do is make this 2x4 frame continue up at a 45-degree angle into the 2x3 frame. Then the bed will sit right on top of this. The thing about this frame, it's going to have a big motor in this. We're going to lose a little bit of depth in the bed, but we'll have more room for the big fuel cell and a lot more rigid frame that'll support all the power we're going to put to those big wheels. Now we're going to come on the bottom side. We're going to use these tubes to brace the bottom. Hanging out that far, you kind of like a cantilever, and it'll kind of be trying to do this stuff when you put pressure. So what we're going to do, we're going to put some tubing here and go up into the frame. It's going to transfer all the weight into this tube here. You're not going to bend that frame. So the key here is form and function. We want to make sure everything works and it looks good. All these braces do something. What's happening, man?
Not much.
That's a good looking truck. You know, it's always cool to get two old Fords at the shop at the same time. This 1975 Bronco has a classic design with flat windows and straight lines.
It's been through 2 ex-wives and still got hold on it.
Oh, yeah.
I got my Bronco back in 1990 and just been driving it and changing up ever since.
You know, it looks done. What do you want to do to it?
Well, you know, I got a little issue with the roof. This Texas heat is bad, and you know how it is when you're driving around, going to the beach or going to deer lease.
So you're just riding around and the sun just beating down on you. Man, you got such a good-looking truck. Then you get up to the top and you see that vinyl, afterthought. We can definitely improve on that. Is there anything else you want to do this?
I got something else in the back I'd like to show you. This gap back here.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't look right to me.
You know what? Some of it probably look really good, even shortening the frame on this thing and scooting the bumper a lot closer too, and then the whole thing fit a little tighter.
That sounds great.
So what are you thinking inside here?
I need a console, so something more secure.
So you're wanting a safe down in the console?
Yeah, if that's possible.
Oh yeah, that's it?
No, there's one more thing.
Yeah?
I'd like to put a little hood scoop right here on this vent.
And there's a 5.0 in this thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, you definitely need a little more air to that thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's starving right now.
That's cool, yeah. Definitely handle that. You know, this Bronco looks really good. You can tell there's been quite a few things have been done to it over the years, but, just like any project, any custom car, there's always something else. Great looking truck.
That's what I like to hear.
Let's go make it happen. It's always nice when a customer keeps an old car alive. This thing's been around and around and around and around. It's been through many different hands, and it's good to see, a customer really appreciate what they have and just, keep adding. That's what's cool about old projects like this, and, an owner that has passion for these types of projects, there's always something else to do to it. You check 10 things off the list, there's always 10 more things that you can do to it to make it even cooler. So now this Bronco's life is in our hands. I'm gonna get a few guys on it to really fab up some cool custom touches. I'm a betting man, so I bet this thing is gonna be back within a year with a whole new list of things to do to make this Bronco even cooler. What up, fellas?
Oh, what's up? It's a good looking Bronco.
Man, it is. It's cool. This guy's had this thing for quite some time, just adding and adding. It's been an ever-evolving project.
Man, that's the downfall of custom. It just never stops. It just keeps going and going and going.
Always something to do.
Always something.
That's exactly what can really help him out. One of the things that isn't cool is the roof of this thing, right? This flimsy little makeshift roof isn't gonna cut it.
You do 70, 80 miles an hour on the road, that thing might slap you in the face.
Or fly off and slap somebody else behind you in the face. So, want to take this thing off and build, a custom roof for this thing. And the other problem is when you go park this thing somewhere, there's no way to lock everything up. So he wants to be able to go into a store and leave whatever in it locked up. Guns, pistols, knives, whatever, he wants to be able to lock it up. So we need lockable storage for the console. And I don't know if you've seen on the back of this thing, it's got a big gap in between the bumper and the body. It doesn't look right. It's definitely not custom, So we're gonna cut the back of the frame off and suck that bumper away in and make it look good, make it look right. One more thing he wants, just that one last thing you wanted, is a custom air intake on the hood. Something to grab that air and force it down into the engine. More air, more power. That's it. That's it.
It's never just one more thing.
Yeah,
never.
Oh, he's definitely going to be back with another list for sure. After years in the Texas sun, we're going to get rid of that old vinyl roof. We're going to replace that with a whole new custom aluminum one.
What we've done so far is we've established the straight lines of where we're going to start breaking everything. We'll take these measurements, transform to the aluminum, mark out where everything needs to be, where the brakes need to be, and then we're going to start cutting.
Now we got our whole panel cut out. So what I'm going to do is just notch out the corners, what we don't need. We're going to take this over to the brake, bend those down 90 degrees, and then we can start forming our edges.
So now we have this up here where it kind of needs to be. We're going to make a front piece and a back piece.
Now we got this shape, how we need it to fit the windshield and the roof. I'm going to clamp this to the front of our roof, tack weld it. Now I got this stitched up to the roof. Now we can make our corners. Man, this aluminum roof is gonna be a whole lot nicer than that rag top he had. You won't have none of that wind noise with it flapping while you're driving down the highway, or even out real handy in these Texas summers. Keep the whole interior of this truck in the shade at all times. Style and comfort. What more would you want?
Put a late model 5.0 in this 75 Bronco. Tim and John are going to make a custom air scoop to force that air right into the engine and look cool.
A little something like that, probably. Now, the purpose of making this out of chipboard and bending it the way I did is now I can lay this out flat on a piece of aluminum, cut it just like this, all out of one piece. These reference lines I got drawn out here, put this in the brake, bend it up about 60 degrees, and flip it over, and I should get the desired look I'm looking for, just like on the template. It looks good, but I think I need to adjust it where the top of it looks even with the windshield.
Yeah, you got the windshield line going straight, and the hinge is straight. That's...
So if I make this side taller than that side,
think you get it done next 5 minutes?
sure. That's just one of those deals when you make something custom, you want it to look right. So we'll go trace this out on another piece and bend it the right way. You know, I didn't have to do this. It looked pretty good the way it was, but I'd really prefer it to look right instead of looking like it was droopy on one side of the truck. What's the extra little 10 minutes just to remake it a little bit taller and make it look right? That's what it takes to do the job right. So just do it. How's that look, buddy?
That should do it.
Now you can see with a little extra time, now it all looks straight, matches the windshield real good. Now it's just time to weld the backside.
We're finishing up on the custom chassis and suspension on the 68 Ford Ranger. While we're doing that, John's getting going on the interior.
You know, the first thing that I saw when I walked up to this truck and I opened up the door and I looked inside was the instrument cluster. You know, that was something that stood out to me. Something about it, you know, the way they were set back and had the bar going across the middle of it. I'm going to take that idea and just kind of incorporate those lines and style cues into this door panel.
Take every bit of concentration and detail that we put into the big jobs. It's nice to sit back every now and then, take a deep breath and relax and make something like this. Then we have our center bar. We'll have this separate from the door panel, so when this is all wrapped, we'll have all these lines still there instead of just one big blob. We'll make this trim ring removable and wrap it separately. That way it continues the lines that we're trying to keep in the door. So now we just take a little bit of body filler here. All right. So this is the factory door panel off the F100. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take my insert, get this thing mudded up, get it molded in, get it looking real good. Well, you know, we kept it nice and simple, so everything will have one nice cohesive flow. Now that I'm done with this, we'll have to wrap up the kick panels.
I gotta start using words like cohesive. Man, I like that word. Cohesiveness? Man, I like that. You know, when you get bored and you want to read something, the dictionary is where it's at. Look ahead.
The back half of the chassis is mocked up with the correct wheelbase. So
I got the cross member in, got the height of the cross member correct where we need it at. Now we can start building the rest of the frame. This engine is so wide, I have to make sure I get the frame rails on the cross member wide enough for that engine to fit in there. I'll take the measurements off the frame, put them on the table, calculate what I need on this, and I'll take what I built on the table and put it on the frame. The cross member side is 3 inches tall, the frame side is 4 inches tall. So what I'm gonna do is slice this down on one end and make a taper. And that's gonna give us a 4-inch by 3-inch tapered tubing. So now with that slice we took out of there, all we gotta do is get one of these, tap it down, we can weld that back out, and then we got a taper. Well, there you go. 4-inch going down to 3-inch. Now we can fit this in the truck. Now we got these pieces connected to the back half of the frame. We can continue on to the front core support mount. Oh no. Got a little damage on this front end here. This hole forward. This part should be touching this part. Look at the size of that gap. They did a repair to try to get this connected back to this, but they didn't pull it back to connect it. They just filled it in there. So I'm about to cut out this repair off that they did to close that gap up. Let's see if we can get this cut out.
Wouldn't you know it, John found some damage on the front end of the 68 Ford Ranger.
You know, whoever repaired this kind of had it figured out, but didn't put it back where it needed to be. We're about 3/4 of an inch off. This side's longer than that side. It has to be straight. So what I did is I hooked me a ratchet strap and I pulled it till we got this to touch. Now I pulled a measurement from the end of the frame to here, and we're right on the money. Now we can connect from here to there and tack it all in place. You ever work on a car, make sure you do it 100% because you never know what the next guy will find. There you have it. We got a complete frame, front to back. Now we're ready to put big end tires on the back for some traction.
It's going to be a fun one.
The owner, Dave, come with the list for a 75 Bronco, and we've been checking them off. We upgraded the stereo with modern marine-grade speakers to hold up in any weather. We cut the back of the frame and scooted the bumper a little more forward.
This Bronco is really limited on space, so we got this cool little safe here. Keep your wallet, sunglasses, maybe gun.
You know, we've modified a ton of things to this Bronco, and it was totally worth it. I mean, you're looking at it now from the way it was before, the thing looks good. But wait, one more thing, Bronco is finally done. Today's the day we're going to give it back. You know, I'm pretty sure he's going to customize this truck for the rest of his life, but once he sees this thing, I know he's going to be blown away. What up, man?
Not much, man. How's it going, Bill?
Man, real good. Good to see you today. Good day for you?
Oh, man, it's a fantastic day.
You know, you came into the shop, you had a couple ideas, and, you know, the list are. You ready to see all these check marks?
I sure am, Bill.
Let's check it out. Adrian, bring it on in.
Wow.
Looks cool, huh?
It looks fantastic. Man, look at that top. When that car came over the hill, man, I seen that top. It's a one-of-a-kind. No Bronco's going to have a roof like mine. Look at the scoop. That was a check off the list.
Right?
Wow. Look at those speakers, man. I can't wait to get in there and drive. Giddy up, let's go. This is exciting. Man.
Adrian,
wow.
What's up, man?
What's up?
What's up?
How's it going?
You know, Adrian's new to the shop. He's been watching this thing being built, and, you know, he's a Bronco enthusiast. He just had to come down and drive this thing.
It's not like a Ford Bronco, is it?
Yeah, man, Broncos have always been my favorite.
Can't wait to get in it and drive it myself.
One of the first things you see when this thing's coming down the hill at you is that little air scoop, right? Grabs that air and forces it down into the engine. Not only does its job, it lets people know you got something a little more than factory under the hood, right?
Exactly. Gives it that room.
The next issue you have was that old half roof you had. It didn't look real cool.
Didn't look cool at all, but that looks like over the top, man. And the way you mounted the light, it all matches. It all comes together perfect.
Lets everybody know you got something cool and custom going on there. You know, from the roof all the way sticking way out back, you know, John and Tim cut the back of the frame off and just sucked that thing all the way in, so it looks like it's supposed to be there now.
It's where it needs to be.
You know, that's the outside, but check out the inside.
Wow, man, you did hit it over the top.
Then you see new speakers up top. You got your 4 speakers in the back. The old stereo in this definitely wasn't going to cut it. But now, old Dave can drive down 80, 90 miles an hour and not have to worry about that wind noise. You can definitely hear this. And you finally got a place to put your gloves, too.
All right.
Lockable glove box, gun safe, lockable console. You know, your wife can put anything in there. You can put anything in the console and not have to worry about it.
Everything I'm seeing right now is just absolutely perfect. The roof, the lighting, the sound system. I can't wait to get on the road just to show it off. Man, it's fantastic. I can say she's truly completed now. But there's always another list.
You were just about to say that? No, I don't believe you. But as of right now, it's good.
I'm totally satisfied, Bill. You hit it right over the top.
Oh yeah, this is definitely not factory. This is why you can see all the screws underneath the bed. They're entirely way too long.
We're putting huge 24 by 15 inch wheels on the back of this 68 Ford Ranger. So Hugo's taking out the old bed floor. We're going to create an all new one with huge wheel tubs.
All right, so we got the bed on the truck. Marcos wanted a flat wood floor. So we built the substructure. The wood's gonna sit right on top of this. Next thing we're gonna do is put the bed sides on here. Then we'll be able to come in and put the wheel tubs, everything else through the middle of it.
Because it's a really big 24 by 15 inch wheel we're using on the 68 Ford Ranger, Tim and John are adding some custom wheel tubs and adding more support to the bed.
Basically what we're doing right now is making sure the side's straight because it's sheet metal, and where the inside of this bed is factory, it could be like this. I mean, it's 1968. So right now we're taking a little extra precaution to make sure that when we weld it, it should stay straight.
Once we get all these tacked in place, we can start fitting our tubs in. What I'm doing here is measuring from the center line inches that way, 15.5 inches that way. I line that up there, and that's our cut line.
So in the back we're running a 24 by 15 inch wide. So to make that, we gotta make a tub that goes over a 24 by 15 inch wide tire. I'm gonna take a piece of chipboard and make me a template. Now we're gonna transfer this template to the sheet metal, roll it, put it on the tub. So what we wanna do is make this tub look like it's one piece, like it was never welded together. I'll jump around, tack it, and then grind it down. It look like one tub and it was never cut in half. Now you can start to see how big this tire is gonna be. Look, this is a tire. This is a tire. Then we start the long task of welding everything in, which is going to take a while.
The guys did a good job making the wheel tubs on this 68 Ford Ranger. Lewis is going to add the color match wood right into the beds.
So this wood is hardwood, it's ash. It's a really good stain grade wood to work with. And we're doing stain work resistant, so sanding is going to play a very important part. We want to make sure that we keep a nice, even pressure and consistent speed. All right, so now we're gonna get this stain mixed up. We're gonna use basically primary colors to match this leather that we have picked out for the truck. I actually make my own stains. You know, I eyeball everything. Some people might do this on a scale, but my grandfather's taught me since I was a young kid. We just start with our primary colors and kind of adjust from there. So you can tell we're starting to get to that orangish color that we're looking for. I'm gonna darken it up, throw a little bit of brown in it, see how close we can get to that leather. All right, let's see where we're at. I think we're close. Okay, I think we're close enough now to where we can actually go ahead and start spraying it, and I can make my adjustments in the actual booth. Right now, so the beauty of this is we can keep going over it until we get a lot
chassis for the 68 Ford Ranger is back from powder. So now Tim and John are gonna put it together, make this thing a rolling chassis.
Want to check the engine on there first? That way I know how to run lines from there.
Let's roll.
All right, go up, go up.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the amount of work when you build these new chassis, but the metal work's the easy part. Putting it flat on the ground like we're doing, you're limited in the amount of room, because steel to go in here, we have to put a bunch of brake lines, fuel lines, wiring harness, and a drive shaft. Everything's crucial. I mean, the exhaust is going to take up a huge part of this, so you can't get enough stuff close to the exhaust. It's going to get hot. You kind of got to pick your poison and pick out where you're going to put what first. And over time, we've just learned, placement of this or placement of that's worked best for us. So it was just all about space.
Looking good, Timmy.
Definitely looks different when it came in, huh?
Got you kicking ass on it for sure. Man, all the lines, everything looked real good. I mean, the hairline, the fuel line, it looks real good. Man, I love this wrinkle copper, especially with the...
Man, if you're happy with it, I'm ready to put it down.
Man, let's do this. John, one of the things I hate the most about custom work is, sometimes you run across a job that somebody else had already started and you run across somebody else's shoddy work.
I'm with you on that 100%. You're gonna sweep the floor, sweep it up right. Don't make you a pile and then brush it under the table, under a toolbox.
That ain't doing it. Somebody's eventually gonna find it.
The first thing you do when a car comes in is look at the chassis, look at the suspension, and there's some stuff that I wish I've never seen.
Right.
And you have to fix that too. Man, that's just
snowballs and just
sometimes you don't like what you're doing, but you have to do them, and you have to do them 100%.
Even if the person knows no one's ever going to see it, or maybe no one ever will see it, they know if the job's done right or not, right?
Yep. You know what you did, and we found it.
It's not every day we take a 68 Ford Ranger that's almost in perfect condition and make it even better. He's been building a garage for his cars, so he invited me over to come check it out, so I got a little garage warming gift for him.
Come on in. What you think, Bill?
Dude, this is a hell of a garage, Marcos. Marcos invites me into car paradise. This is every car guy's dream right here. One of the first things you do, you go down Lamborghini aisle. You got the McLaren, you got the Ferrari aisle. Man, leave it to Marcos to build a house for his cars, right next to his house. This is cool. This is just amazing.
This is phase 1. I'm doing phase 2. We got to add on that side.
Well, you know what? I got something that might fit really, really good.
What you got? You got a chair? You got a bar stool? Floor mat?
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, my God, Bill.
Coming outside and seeing that F100 for the first time.
That thing looks sick.
Right? You just can't go anywhere and buy one of these. He knows this is especially built for him.
Oh, my.
Is that low enough or what?
Dude. That thing is on the ground.
Late model 5.0 Coyote, supercharged. You're pushing about 750, 800 horsepower right now.
750, 100 horsepower on this thing, Bill? Wow.
It started out being a nice truck, right? It looked almost new.
Right.
But your bar is set really, really high. And we got to come through every time. Old motor, old trans, old rear end, old everything rolled right out the shop. Totally started over. We started out building a new chassis, front to back. All new suspension. Every part of this thing underneath is all handmade. Big 24x9s in the front, 24x15s in the rear.
Nice.
2 big, wide black marks wherever you go.
That's what I like. I like the black mark.
Marcos, you pop that hood, you see that wrinkled copper powder coat. It just ties everything in together.
It's all about the little details. They make customs, different from anybody else.
That's it, man. Check out this interior, man.
crap.
John and the guys really got down and, built the kick panels.
I see that.
Carpet
Looks
in
good.
there.
Oh my God, look at the carpet.
Right? It looks good. Just ties everything together. Freshen up these door panels. Just brought in a little feel, but it looks custom.
I mean, the carpet, it was like, guys, you can see some of these cars that I got right here on my main cave. I don't even got the details that I got on this thing.
What do you think back here, Marcos?
Look at how wide these things are, dude.
This isn't just for looks either, Marcos. The wheel and tire itself is 16 inches.
Wow.
And to get this all the way on the ground, the wheel tubs come up that far. There's no exaggeration here. This is what you have to get this thing all the way on the ground.
It looks so smooth, so clean, like a piece of glass, like a piece of art.
Right? The wood that was in here, there was no saving that. We had to come in, put brand new wood. Still gives it that classic feel.
Right.
But that is nothing but custom.
It's amazing what you guys done on this thing, dude. I really appreciate that. The best thing about all this is that that it's all handmade. Every single detail that they did on this truck, I mean, it basically fits with that intention that it can make this thing one of the kinds.
You say you want a cool truck?
Oh, man. This is it. I mean, that's exactly what I had on mine when I brought him to you, and basically you made my dream come through. I got really special place on my garage for
think every guy comes into work and busts their ass every day on Sunny Drive, makes things happen just like this truck right here, and I can't thank them enough.
Lift it up, I see air ride suspension.
That's the name of the game around here. Now we can really start letting the creativity and the fabrication all come together. Did a lot of work on this 2006 Kodiak already.
What else does he want now?
He wants to put an extra wheel and tire in the back.
One in the wheel, there's going to be a problem.
So the structure is going to be there. The flow, it's going to look like it was made like this.
Oh my God, Bill. I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. We just got a pretty cool 71 Suburban out in the lot. I owned one of these things for a short period of time, and, I miss it. I'm definitely attracted to this car. Good looking truck.
What's up, buddy? What's up, man?
It's endless possibilities what you can do this old Suburban. I've seen them way high, seen them way low. So whatever the owner Ronald wants to do this thing, I know it's going to be cool.
Is that truck you're telling me about from Maryland?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
It looks 4x4. Is it true 4x4?
Yeah, it is.
Man, it's cool. What are we doing to it, though?
Man, I don't know. And I got to get on a Zoom call and see what he's got going on.
He just bought it and set up shipping it, huh?
It's here for a reason. About to go find out.
Let me know what he says.
Ronald, how you doing?
Doing good, Bill, man. Excited.
Just got that Suburban in, man. That thing it's nice.
It's cool, but it needs to be a little bit cooler.
Oh, definitely.
It needs a touch. I mean, you've seen it. It needs some loving.
So, it's here. What are we doing?
I see it lifted up. I see air ride suspension, new tires. I see it pulling a nice Airstream down the road and looking just incredible.
Heck yeah.
It's four-wheel drive, so I'm not the kind of guy, I don't like going low, but I do want it to go up a little bit, and I want the stance to be cool.
So you're maybe something worth aired up from there?
Maybe a little higher than where it's at right now. Does that sound like it'll work?
Absolutely.
I just want it to blow people's minds when it's riding down the road.
That's the name of the game around here.
Whatever you can do, get that thing right. It's going to be a camping vehicle. I'm going to ride it. This thing ain't going to sit in the garage the rest of its life. It's going to be out there riding around.
I love hearing this. Not only get to build a cool truck with cool suspension, it's also going to be on the road and actually being used on a daily basis. What I see on this thing is just taking out the old suspension and just putting brand new 4 links front and rear on this thing. lifting this thing up and just riding with air suspension incorporated, if you just want something that when you're driving down the road with that travel trailer behind you, people beside you can just see the moving parts of the suspension.
I want them to be able to see it.
Yes. New wheels and tires on this thing, you know, some nice shocks, you know, big brakes. That's going to be a good looking cruising truck, especially with your trailer behind it.
Maybe even put a little music in it too. I want to, you know, it doesn't have to be crazy loud where, you know, they're waking up the trailer park. I want a little bit of sound coming out of that Suburban. So
you got it, man. We're going to take care of this thing for you.
I want this thing to be beautiful. It might be a second trip, you know, after you get this done. I don't know.
Absolutely. You know, phase 1, no problem at all. We can get this thing on the lift, get it tore apart, and get that new suspension built. At any point, you can bring it back, you know, and then we'll start phase 2 to take it to that next level.
Sounds good.
You know, we love working with our customers, no matter, you know, if it's a one lump sum build or if it's spread out over many different trips. You know, if it goes and comes and goes and comes and goes and comes a few times, it doesn't make any difference to us. We'll be there all the way of building their dream truck.
I'm ready. I mean, I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, so.
You know, I'm really excited on this thing. This thing's going to be really, really cool, and I can't wait to get going.
You think you're excited?
Man, we'll talk to you real soon.
All right, sounds good, Bill.
All right, bye. You know, these 6th generation Suburbans are really popular and really sought after. It's unique. It's something you don't see every day. You know, this truck's going to be built in phases. No problem. Who knows how many phases this thing's going to go through, but, you know, the first phase is always the most critical. That's when you really get the creativity started. You build upon that creativity, and it leads to a bigger, better produce. You know, once you put the shoes on, you're like, man, I need some new pants. And then you put the new pants on, you're like, gotta have a new shirt. You know, you gotta make the whole outfit complete. You know, that's what we're going to do right here is just customize this thing step by step, piece by piece, till this thing looks 100% and 100% custom. What's happening? Man, it just so happens I'm looking at it right this minute. Ronald was clear from the beginning. There's going to be many times he's going to add to the build. You know, I just thought it would be after we finish the first phase. I mean, we got plenty of room in the back of this thing to do whatever we want to do. So the interior is something we could really focus on a lot to really make it comfortable, you know, for you guys for sure. And to be something to show off. All right, man. Thanks a lot. We'll take care of it for you.
What's up, man? Finally got the Suburban in the shop?
Yeah, man.
Cool. Do a little audio in it. Get this thing in and out.
Well, that was the plan. The little audio. That's not the plan now.
Plans changed.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with the owner, and, you know, I guess he slept on it a little bit. He got bit by the bug. He wanted a little upgrade.
Well, we've got a lot of real estate in here to upgrade.
Man, there is. There's a lot of room in here.
Well, sometimes it's easier to just do it all at one shot than having to go back and forth with it. It's like, it's there, just do it.
Right. First thing we're going to do, new interior. Everything in this thing, we're going to change. He wanted new audio, but now he wants new seats, headliner, door panels, and even more audio.
Sure we can make something like that work out.
I know we can. The next step, we're taking it over to the fab shop and cutting everything out from underneath this thing. It's going to look way, way, way better. You know, we're giving it a nice lift with air suspension on it, big 4-length, you know, 40-inch tires, new rims, big brakes. It's going to have an aggressive look coming down the road. We want this thing to look just mean.
Okay.
When he opens the doors, I want it to have that same aggressive look too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Basically, take the same ideas that you have going on underneath it, keep those ideas flowing, and put something in here that just says, I'm here, and get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I got my laundry list of work to do, so let's get to it. All right, I'm going to start with getting the seats out. You know, the idea behind use it and drive it, not just make a showpiece out of it. We still want to have something that's going to be functional. So keep those things in mind as we go, and we'll start making something cool. One of one of the things I enjoy about watching the guy get excited when we're building their truck. You know, first when it gets here, they're a little setback, a little reserved, don't want to do too much, take their time, do it in stages. And once it gets here, they get thinking about it, they get all itchy. Next thing you know, here we go. Full builds every time. There's your original color. Seafoam green, I guess is what you would call it. You know, as hard as they try when they do a color change in a car, it never fails. Somewhere you're going to find hints of the color. There it is. For now, I'm going to start with the subwoofer enclosure. That way I know I've got to have that space. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then we'll start making all the panels to make it look good. So what we'll do is we'll take this bottom piece first and just start drawing out around all the pieces until this fits back where we want it to. And we'll start building it up. Nice fit. You know, it's just like a big puzzle, one piece after the next. Make a piece, cut it, fit it, glue it, just work it as you go, especially when you're trying to fit into these really tight spaces like this. It's kind of hard to map out and build on a table, so you're just back and forth building it. Right. So what we're going to do next is take some body filler, use that as a sealant to make sure that the box is nice and airtight. And then we're going to go back over top of that with some fiberglass chop strand to give it the strength that it needs so we know it's going to stay together and stay sounding good. All right, the box is fitting great. The next step is going to be to build the recessed baffle that's actually going to hold the subwoofer. So what we want to do is we're going to recess them back inside this enclosure about 4 inches. So you won't even hardly see them. They're going to set so far back in here. So to do that, what I'm going to do is a little bit of stack fab. Basically take and just stack up a bunch of layers of MDF until I get it back to where I want it to be. We'll get it attached to this thing, and this box will be just about done. So what I did to get the angles and stuff on the baffle is I just kind of went off of the angle of the back door. The back wall has an angle to it. We got the same angle on the box, so we're just going to kind of follow that angle forward just so everything flows together. There's exactly what we're looking for.
Estate inside this 1971 Suburban, especially when your box is in the back. He's going to move on to the door panels.
So what we're doing now is we're just making all the parts and the pieces for the door panel. Since we have 4 doors, all of them are going to be the same. So once we make one, just repeat it, duplicate it, mirror image it on the router. That way we can set them all up and work on them all at one time and get the process done a little bit faster. We got the bottom section where the speaker is going to go. What I want to do is I'm going to take this top line here, instead of it being just flat, I'm going to put a curve to it, and then I can round it over. It just takes the blockiness out of it and just gives it some character and some life instead of just being stuck on the door and flat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this scoop bit on the router to give the inside opening a profile and the outside edge a profile. Once that's done, then we can take it apart, put it on the machine, and reshape it and give it a whole completely different look. Sometimes in order to make the ideas and designs in my head, I have to make a one-of-one tool. So I went ahead and made my own jig, my own sled here, that's going to create an arc in this piece that is going to give it some dimension and depth. It's a little bit extra work, a few extra steps to take, but that little extra touch really stands out, puts the craftsmanship into it, and really makes something that's one of a kind. All right, so you can see this one, it has shape to it and dimension in both in this direction and in this direction. The next thing to do, attach it to its base. This thing's ready to do some body work. I've done similar things to this once or twice before, but you know, every time you do it, it's always something different, which really is what makes it so much fun. That's what I enjoy about it. I like the creative part of it and the problem solving. You can kind of see the whole door panel starting to come together here, all the pieces. We'll have our speaker set down into this pocket here, and then we'll have our armrest up here.
You know, in the custom car game, no matter what the customer's original checklist is, there's always one more thing. Always. You know, sometimes we get a project in, you know, it just needs that last final touch to make it 100% complete. You know, we always want to accommodate, but that's one of the challenges of owning a custom shop, just making the customer happy. We did a lot of work on this 2006 Kodiak already, and we were about to ship it out. Then the owner called me up. He just wants to do that one more thing.
One last look before it goes home or what?
Man, it'd be nice if it was going home, but, you know, the world of custom, it's always that one more thing, right?
Huh. What now? Yeah.
You know, this Kodiak rolled in pretty good condition. We built custom air suspension, made a new front bumper, made new running boards, added a new grill, added headlight conversion, new wheels, tires, and painted the whole truck silver.
So what else does he want now?
Well, he wants to put an extra wheel and tire in the back. You know, one that matches the ones that are on the truck, mounted back here in the bed.
Mounting down flat, up, or how you want to?
You know, I don't know yet. I'm gonna get it in the shop and kind of play with it, see what looks good, what looks cool. So I'm thinking probably mounted 30 degrees or so, mounted up close to the tank. You know, something so if you're looking down on the bed, you can see it, but not something that sticks up over the top of the bed rails.
All right.
That's what he wants. That's what he's getting. We'll get with Max, see if you can get one. I don't even know if you can just get one, huh?
I hope. I'll go get Max figured out.
Yeah, night. We've done a lot of Kodiaks over the years. The medium duty platform is just great to work with. You know, it's different from every other thing on the road, and that's what the customer wants when they bring these things in. It's just one of one, something that nobody's seen before. You know, we've done a lot of work to this big old Kodiak, a lot, but for a thing, we got to make it happen. You know, sometimes when a customer comes up with a last minute idea, you know, they haven't been around for the whole creative process. So incorporating their last minute idea into a project that's already been built, there's a few little challenges comes with that. You just don't want a little spare tire stuck in the back. It looks like a sore thumb just out of the blue. You want something that just all flows together and look like it was all thought about from the very get-go.
Yeah, man. Yep, I can have that to you today. That's not a problem.
You know, Max has been a really great addition to Extensive. He's been running point on sales and parts. And he's got a real knack for finding things that are really hard to get. Like one custom dually wheel for the Kodiak.
Have a good day. All right. Hello, Timmy.
Just the person I need to see.
Uh-oh.
I need a favor.
Well, what kind of favor?
I need another wheel.
For
Kodiak.
You have 6 wheels.
I thought the truck was done. Bill walked out there and did the old pat on the shoulder and told me we had added some more stuff.
Okay.
The guy wants to be able to travel across country and he wants a full-size spare.
We're in a shop where we do higher caliber builds. Parts, everything's usually custom made, so we have to fabricate them here, or we have to source them from the right people to get them on time. So 4 wheels, not a problem. 6 wheels, definitely not a problem. 1 wheel is going to be our problem.
It's not my problem, buddy. That's yours.
Thanks, Timmy.
You know, there's no such thing as a stock 7th wheel mount, so we got to make one. We got to make this 7th wheel mount rigid enough to hold this big, heavy wheel. We got all of our pieces cut. We should have all of our angles right, so we got our spacer that simulates the angle of the wheel. We got our smaller spacer in the back, so we got a little tilt to the wheel. So when you look down into the bed, you'll be able to see that nice displayed wheel. So I'm gonna start putting the pieces together real quick. We'll tack it all up and we'll see if it fits. You always start out with the vision that you have in your head of the basic idea. Top needs to go back. You know, once you start building it, you don't want to get dead set in your ways. You want to improve every time you build something. So even if it's something as just building a wheel holder, you always want to think of different ideas. And you know, usually those ideas keep us way behind schedule. Let's put another tack on this. You know, mounting a 7th wheel in this 2006 Kodiak isn't what I call a common request, but that's what makes it fun coming to work in the morning. You know, making the unexpected look like it should have came like that from the beginning. Let's unclamp this thing, see if it fits in. So
we got to cut that off so it don't hit the wheel, huh? We'll just mark with a soapstone, and we'll just weld it up and grind it from there. That looks good, man.
Yeah, come out nice.
I mean, it's got some strong mounting points on it. It looks good. Man, this thing is going to last forever.
Yep, no doubt.
That's what we want, that big, heavy wheel on this thing, shaking, going down the road. You know, start fatiguing everything if it wasn't built super strong, and that's what we got. So,
Looks good. It's clean, strong.
go. Let's do it. All right.
While John and his team are finishing up the interior, we're rolling the 71 Suburban right into a bay so we can get started on that brand new custom air suspension lift.
So we finally got this old Suburban inside the shop. We're gonna take it, break it down. We're gonna take everything off of it that's on there. Take all the suspension out from under it, shocks out, axles out. We're gonna get it up as high as we can, make it look really aggressive, have some fun. So the advantage to working on an older vehicle is that they're a lot more simple. The disadvantage is everything's froze up and a lot harder to get off and loose. If you've got the right tools, some rusty parts won't stop you. Finally got the front off, completely disconnected, all the hardware and everything disassembled. Time to move on to the back. This drive shaft's reusable, so it can actually be shortened or lengthened because it's welded. We're going to keep this slip yoke for this transmission and trans hook.
We'll put it on here first.
All right.
Now we take it out there and pick it up, put it on this.
Sweet. Thanks, sir. All right, so we finally got everything off the truck. Front axle, rear axle, all the suspension parts. We can bring in all the new stuff, and we can get this thing up in the air where we want it.
We tore out all the old suspension and cleaned up the stock front and rear axles. So now Jamie and I can start mocking up the air suspension. Whoa, that's probably pretty good, huh?
Uh-huh.
What we're going to do with this thing is an air suspension lift. Okay. We have some nice airbags on this thing, nice shot, big 4-lane.
Oh, yeah.
So first things first, let's get the rear end located with the air deflated. Okay. And once that's located, we'll weld a pipe down to the axle so it can't go anywhere. Okay. Drop it down a little bit. You know, this thing's going to have a big 40-inch tire, but he's also wanting to tow his camper with this thing too, so we can't just go crazy and just make it way off the ground. We want this thing to have a low stance and also be able to air this thing up and get it way off the ground and just be really aggressive. Get it bolted up real quick and point it at it, you know, try to get it 0 degrees here. Pretty close.
These old Suburbans are unique. You don't see a lot of them on the road anymore. Everybody wants a short wheelbase, you know, fleet side, but not too many people build these Suburbans. That in itself is pretty cool. I mean, think about during the flood, how many people would have loved to have one of these and put all your stuff in it and not get nothing wet. I mean, it's got multiple uses for something like this. I'm actually looking forward to building it.
Scoot it back a little bit. Let's see what you got from center to here.
20 1/4?
That's on the money, 20 1/4. So we got everything 100% level, 100% true, square. The rear end is located exactly where this thing needs to be. So now we can start building our 4-link from the axle all the way up to the frame. Man, we can run a string line.
I think I can shoot one straight all the way back right underneath the axle.
Let's just drop this thing down. Then we can hold a string line here to the center of the axle and get it parallel with the frame. Then we measure it right down here to the center of the string. So we know center to here where our measurement's at. Can we hold this real quick? Go down, Tim. A lot more of the front axle is to get it perfectly level with the back. So when you let all the air out of the suspension, this truck still sits level, even though there's, you know, no air in it. And then you air it up from there. Then you got a perfectly level truck as it's going down the road.
Like I'm kickstarting a Harley over here. looks good, huh?
Yeah.
Everything, both axles are right where they need to be.
Man, perfectly centered, perfectly level, and at the perfect height with everything all bottomed out. We can get busy building.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
We've lined up the front and rear axles on this 1971 Suburban for our custom lift. And now we can get to building it. You know, one of the major pieces of a custom lift like this is the hanger. The hanger needs to be super strong, and it serves many purposes of locating where the pivot points are in the suspension so everything articulates and flows together, rides right, doesn't bind the drive shaft up. There's a lot of importance in locating the hanger in the right place, and the distance in between the two pivot points, you know, that reacts, you know, driving on the road 90 miles an hour versus off-road. You know, there's a lot of little intricacies in building a hanger like this, and, you know, you gotta add some style to it too and make it cool. You know, next step is just going to burn the hanger pieces out. What up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Here we go, man. So I need to build these hangers. So make these at 1/4 inch so they're super strong, and we'll box it all in.
I got it. So I took this, drew my box, got my measurements. Now it's time for the computer to do its thing. Okay, now I'm just cleaning up these rough edges, punch these holes out, and take it over to build.
Okay, so I got the base of the hanger Jesse just brought back over. So I'm gonna go ahead and mock everything up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my plates to box everything in to give it the strength. It's real early in life my grandfather had given me. Then I went to taking stuff apart, like everything. I remember my mom bought me an RC car. For the world of me, I thought, I'll just put a vacuum cleaner motor on it and it'll work. That never went back together. The vacuum or the car. So from basically being young to taking things apart to being older now to taking bigger things apart, some things just don't change. Alright, so now that I got these two pieces on the side right here, I'm gonna go ahead and weld all on the inside right here. So that way to be as strong as possible, I have a weld on the inside and a weld on the outside. Okay, so basically right now I made some gussets right here. This is pretty much the last piece to be able to mount this on where it's solid. Alright, so got all these welded up, all the gussets done. So this is ready to go up underneath the truck and we'll just keep going.
We got our hangers made. You know, the next step on getting this bad boy all the way up and down is building the 4-link from the hangers all the way back to the rear end. We're making our 4-link bars, so we want everything 100% true, square, full size. So what we're gonna do is make a little parts to be exactly the same length. So we mock up one side, we're gonna use the bars to mock up the other side. So our bracketry, everything is 100% true and identical. Okay, so I got the link bars welded up, everything's cleaned off of them. Now it's time to go ahead and bolt them up. Get them on the truck. We got our bars 100% true with each other off our jig. By using the 4-link bar, that tells us exactly where our mounts are. So everything else is 100% square. So that lines all the bars, all the brackets, everything up 100%. Now all we got to do is tack it on and keep rolling. See, I got both the upper and lower link bars on. Everything looks parallel. Everything's bolted up. Like the way it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rear now. The 7th wheel hitch is back from powder coat on the 2006 Kodiak. We're just missing the 7th wheel and tire. And then this extra large build will be ready to go home. Hey, Val.
tire, mounted balance, ready to go.
How'd you do that?
Very carefully. Yeah, called in a few favors, but we got what we needed, so.
All right.
Heads up, it's heavy.
All right.
Going from point A to point B is not always a straight line. You know, there's always obstacles, and, you know, we just have to find the part, because when they come in and say, hey, Max, I need the part, that's what I do. I find the part. See how much bigger than you are.
It's almost as big as me.
Always loved Kodiaks. It goes all the way back to 2006 when I had my own. You know, I love driving that thing. I love just the girth of the truck and just being different from everyone else. So when this truck showed up, showing its age, I knew exactly what to do to make this thing 100% right. What's up, Vinny?
What's up, Bill?
How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Beautiful day to get a Kodiak back, huh?
Yes, sir. I've been waiting. I can't wait.
I know, man. I'm really excited. Man, you came in, this thing, it was hurt.
Yeah, it needed help. It's an iconic truck, but it needed a facelift. That's why we brought it to you. Purchased the Kodiak about 6 years ago. We tried to do a little stuff ourselves to get it to ride better and look a little help. I ran into a guy at a show in Arizona who told me to take it to Texas. That's why I said, take it to Texas. And we hauled us out here.
That big truck just commands attention when it drives up. Maybe a little unwanted attention in some areas.
Attention in the wrong spots. Put it that way, yes, sir.
Man, we addressed all those things. We got this thing looking good, riding good.
I just can't wait. Let's do it.
Man, I'm ready too, man. Jamie, come on with it.
Oh my God, Bill. No way. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Yeah, the headlights, the grill. That is bad. I love it. It don't look old anymore.
No.
Oh my gosh. Woo. It looks like a totally different truck. I don't even know where to start.
Hey, I told you we got you, man.
I know. Hey, I believe you, but now I really believe you. That's crazy. Oh my God, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Woohoo. That's so cool. Oh man, it's over the top.
What you think?
I like it.
What up, man?
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know what to say. Takes my breath away. It's awesome.
Benny, you see this thing pull up, it commands attention.
Yes, sir.
Right? From the new headlights, stretch bumper, new grill, running boards on this thing, fresh coat of paint all the way through it.
All manuals are sick.
Drop low to the ground.
Yeah.
Totally changes the whole stance.
I don't even know there's enough words to say how excited I am. It's sick.
Man, I appreciate that. I think so too, man. I mean, it's something we're definitely proud of.
Oh, yeah.
It looks cool, man.
Yeah,
it's a cool truck.
Absolutely.
I got one more surprise for you.
Oh, okay.
Check it out.
All right. Oh, man, Bill. That's awesome.
I know you wanted something back here to show off your other wheel, and, you know, you never know. You might have a flat, right?
1,200-mile drive. I want to make sure I'm safe. Don't want to take no chances.
That's it, man.
So this is the first 7th wheel I've seen. This man Bill had a great idea how to recess it in the hitch, go ahead and tie it in the toolbox, make it kind of look like it's floating. Man, it came out awesome.
Good job. You guys killed it. Nice.
Appreciate it, man. I love when we get these trucks in the shop, you know, bringing them back to life, you know, making an older truck look brand new. Doesn't get better than that. The forelink is done on the 1971 Suburban's custom lift. So now we can get to building the bag mounts, the point off of which the airbags will attach. Turn it all the way one way and then back to where you're at, and then all the way the other way and back to where you're at. One last thing we got to do before we build the lower bag mounts is our steering. So we need to build our steering cross-link and have all that, the steering and the lower bag mount, and plenty of room for the bag itself. So last thing we want to do is build this thing again.
Okay, so we got the steering, everything's hooked up, everything looks pretty good, everything moves freely. So it looks like we have enough space for the bag bracket right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start making these right now. All right, so my process of doing a bunch of bag mounts, basically my first thing is I'm gonna get all my material cut to length I'm gonna need, and I always cut a little over because you're gonna trim back and cope everything. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking off little bit by little bit until it fits, and to make sure the bends are all in the same place, they're all coped on the axle the same height, and everything's even underneath the back plate. It's a lot of cutting, grinding, coping, but once it's in, it's in.
Man, Jamie, it looks really, really good. We got a nice foundation. Now we can really get down to business and really start letting the creativity and the fabrication all come together and make something really cool. The owner of the Suburban wants to be able to haul a trailer with the lower bag mount to the frame to hold all that trailer weight. I just made a quick little template from the other side, my center punch holes, so we can duplicate this side so everything's 100% same. You know, once we had the center punches on both sides, we can drill our holes and then bolt our upper bag mounts right to the frame and then build our bag mounts right down to the back. Jamie's rolling some pipe, then we're gonna chop it up and then get it fitting.
Okay, so you can see, basically I'm running these pipes in at the same time. Each one I do the same way, so I have the same bend right in here. If I was just to hit the button down, it would be all kinked, and if I just did one, then did the other one, it wouldn't be any good. So this is just the way to do it properly, is go ahead and just do each one. Every time I drop the machine down, I'll run another piece of suit to make a nice circle on them. So you just gotta do it over and over again. Patience, you know, slow and steady wins the race. All right, so basically I'm trying to make a perfect circle so I can cut this and use each side for each one of these to be the same radius to the bag mount. So when you do look at it, it's going to be perfectly the same. It's really important, you know, for it to look right, because otherwise it's really going to draw your eye if it doesn't flow with everything else. It not only doesn't need to look right truck, because all the air is on this bag, so this is going to be basically holding up this axle. So the structure is going to be there. The flow is going to look like it was made like this. So people that know about custom cars, welders, fabricators are definitely going to notice how much fabrication time went into something like this, putting this together. It's something I really look for and appreciate when I see it in other builds.
The cool thing about this, you know, you can get lifts done anywhere, but none of them look like this. I mean, this is our cool little signature stamp on this thing is, you know, not only riding good, handling good, but to have the styling of the bent pipe. You know, that's one thing that sets this thing apart from all the others on the road.
Hey, what's up, buddy? It's Max over at Extensive. One of the toughest things about this job is managing all the builds going on at the same time. I'm in kind of a bind and I need some help. If you're not highly organized, it'll pile up on you and you will crash and burn. My love for cars came at a young age. When I was young, I got magazines that had all the custom cars in them, and I just thought that was the coolest thing, that they always cut them up and, you know, change stuff, and I was always about that. I've been in the automotive industry for probably, and then got into the custom car game, and I got the opportunity to come down here. So picked up a family, moved to Texas, and the rest has just been great. Yeah, man, no, I really appreciate it, man. You're helping me out a ton. What I like about working at Extensive is the camaraderie of everybody that works here. We're all here to build cool stuff. We're all on the same agenda, and the energy here is really, really cool. It's a fast-paced shop, but I'm a fast-paced kind of guy, so we mesh really well.
Now that the custom lift's back from powder coat and installed on the 71 Suburban, John can take all the handmade pieces and start wrapping.
You know, looking at this door panel, everything's working out really good. I got it nice and deep inside the pocket. I got one more little trouble spot to work out. We'll be home free. All right. Looks like luck might be on our side today. Next thing we gotta do, finish wrapping that around. Then we'll go over everything, hit it with some heat, get it warmed up. This thing's gonna look beautiful. Put a little bit of vinyl down in the bottom of that hole, and put it on.
You know, with over 10 feet of cabin space, John and his team have a lot of wrapping and installing to do. It's just like Christmas. Headliner, seats, new audio. Well, at least for now. I know when Ronald sees this truck, he's going to be blown away. I mean, it's just such a huge transformation. What's happening, Ron?
What's going on, Bill?
Long trip, huh?
It was a long trip, man, all the way in from Maryland.
Man, it's good to have you down. It's good to I guess, to finally meet you in person.
I'm glad to be here, man. I'm excited to see this truck. Flew out here to Extensive today, and I've really been anxious to see this truck, and all my friends know I'm driving everybody crazy. So I'm really excited to get in this thing and just drive it as much as possible.
Ron, I know, you bought the truck on the internet, right?
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't really quite what you wanted, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
So that's why we're here.
That's right, man. It needs some loving.
You wanted something that rode really nice and looked cool when you're pulling your travel trailer.
I wanted it better than it was.
It's more than a little better.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Way more than a little better.
I'm sure it is. I can't stand it right now, man. I'm ready.
Let's check it out.
Let's bring her out. Yes, sir. Look at this.
What you think, man? Mean coming at you, doesn't it?
Mean ain't the word for it. Look at this thing. This is beautiful. Yeah. Woo! Nice. She is sitting on those tires, man. That is insane. Oh my God.
She looks a little different, doesn't she?
She looks a whole lot different. I am slammed. This is everything that I imagined. I mean, this is just phenomenal, man.
You haven't seen another 3-door looking like this?
Never, no. You can go online and never find one like this.
That's right.
This is it.
I'd cruise that one for sure.
Definitely.
That's a highway runner.
Oh, I can't wait, man. We're going to use it. It's not going to sit in the parking lot somewhere. This is going to be on the road, and it's going to be going.
Where it needs to be.
And everybody's going to be looking. It's going to be turning heads, man.
The first thing you see of the wheels and tires and that big suspension underneath of it. Got to work building you a cool custom 4 links front and rear.
The size of all that tubing, I mean, it's incredible. The strength you put underneath there. I see it. I mean, you can't miss it. It's beautiful. I love the wheels. Perfect choice, man.
Yeah, man, that thing looks good. Really, really good. I mean, it's something we're definitely proud of.
Oh, yeah, the stance, the size. When you see it coming at you, it says get out the way.
That's right. Yeah, man, the stance on it is killer. It's mean.
That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah, man. It's everything I wanted. I love it.
Pretty okay.
That's pretty okay.
John, let's let him check out the inside.
All right, let's check this out.
Oh, look at this, man. Oh, God, you killed it.
John and the boys always kill it on interiors. Always.
I know that's right, man.
Yeah, so we just went through everything, from top to bottom. New carpet, redid the seats.
That's right.
Redid the door panels. Got all that brown in there. We pulled the pleats into the doors to match the seats. We went ahead and did the headliner, put some lights up in there so you got some mood lighting when you're cruising down the road.
There you go.
New radio in the dash, new system all the way around, subwoofer enclosure in the back. Everybody will hear you coming too, so.
I don't see me coming before they hear me.
That's questionable.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys blew it out of the water. This is phenomenal, man. I mean, it's going to go a step further because it's coming back to you, and you're going to do some more work to it. But for right now, this is headed in the right direction.
Ron, getting projects like this in, it wakes everybody up. It reignites everybody's fire. It gets that passion going again, and just the creativity just really starts flowing. Obviously.
Yeah. This is my first project car, and I'm hooked, man. I mean, hook, line, and sinker. It's contagious, but I mean, I want to see this thing go as far as I can take it.
Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, however you want to do it.
I'm stoked.
I know you can say Phase 1 was a complete success. All right, Ronald, enjoy this truck. I'm sure I'll be seeing you real soon for Phase 2, so come on with it.
Cut $10,000 off this truck. Oh, you didn't just bring more wiring over here.
Size-wise, this 2019 Polaris is a small vehicle for us, but it's got some big issues. Heck, having this thing, man, this thing was in a tornado. Anything we can do to help you, man, and help your granddaughter, we're in.
If this ain't hooked up correctly, nothing's gonna work.
Oh, no way!
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. What better way to have a little family bonding than letting your kids help you pet up a car. And before I send this thing off to get scrapped, I figured I'd give my kids a little lesson on how to use some tools and cut some metal.
I never really use like tools like this. I mean, it's not that bad, except for it's just like, pumping my arms out, but that's all right. It's a good workout, and I really like working out, so I guess it's fine.
Couple little more pieces, the whole roof's gonna be off.
Go out on your side.
Got it?
Yep.
What do you think?
Hey.
First convertible? Yes.
It's a good family day. We cut up the car, and so now we're just gonna have some fun.
Test it out.
Yeah.
Hey, where's Cleve at? Cleve! Come on! Come on! I can't really tell you personally how many donuts I've done in this parking lot. Maybe 1 million or so. But this is Cleve's first, and he seemed really happy to be here. Seeing this thing in a stage like this, it finally feels like this thing's coming together. After being so long just a cab on the lift, feels like we're getting some things done. It's been a lot of hard work. You got that right. I mean, just getting this thing apart's a lot of hard work. Yeah. We're months into making this 2020 Denali 3500, one of the first ever body drop in the world. The owner wants to haul some of his other show cars with it to SEMA. So we had to put more engineering into this thing to make it perform even better than he wants. With a body back on the frame, it looks like we're almost done, but I can tell you, we're a long ways away.
Oh, Lord, what are you guys trying to pull a house or something? That's serious.
Damn right it is. I mean, this transfers all the weight from a trailer. Sometimes it could be 20, 30,000 pounds of stopping and starting. Goes to this right here.
So we can put a house on there.
Absolutely. Just from the start of this, get it on the lift and tearing it apart was a major job. Laying the chassis out, building the chassis on the table, getting the frame underneath this, rear suspension. Just to get to this stage is huge amount of labor.
I know.
This is not just double work or triple work. It's not even quadruple. What's after quadruple?
A lot.
The finishing work on a build like this is always the hardest part. It's a huge build, but the small details, they take a lot of time. Now that we got the foundation, we can build the front suspension and huge wheel tubs that tuck those big old 28-inch wheels. Color match the frame and plastics, create a fully articulating speaker system in the bed, and finding space to put everything back together under the body. And that's rewiring, reconnecting, rebuilding, making this truck 100% brand new again, just like it is. We got a lot of work done, but there's still a whole lot of work to do and a whole lot of parts to order. So let's get to it.
Let's get it.
At this stage of the build, it's all about making room underneath the body to cram everything back in. So Tim and John are getting started to making room for these big old wheels.
The name of the game is the bigger the wheels, the lower to the ground. And you know as well as I know.
Most important thing,
the brake
system.
We're not going to cut the factory fender tabs off. We're going to use those to line everything back up. That way it'll look factory from the outside, and it'll keep all the factory gaps exactly the same. We're going to build back a support with some DOM. We need something that's going to keep all these tabs 100% where they're at and keep this where it's at. Because then the fender will bolt right back up here, and all this will gap back perfect. The hood will shut perfect. Everything will stay right.
I've seen a lot of custom builds where they made something look good, but later on down the road, it just didn't hold up. Yeah, so we got to fit it down now. We got to have form and function, stability. What good is a cool car if you can't drive it down the road safely? Pretty damn good.
That's that's gonna work. That clears the hinge, clears the hood, supports that.
Clears a gas shock too, so we don't have to mess with that.
I think everything's gonna be perfect.
I'm welding the fender tabs right to the support to keep everything in line. Now we got our new support in there. We can remove all of this to get our new big wheel in there. There you go. Starting to see this thing getting put together and starting to look like a whole truck again.
You see the door gap, it all lines back up perfect. We don't even have to sit there and try to make the fender mounts.
Yep, and it's looking real good.
While Tim and John are making good progress on the 2020 Denali's front end, I'm going to get started making articulating speaker brackets for the bed. You know, just having a drop dually, big wheels all the way on the ground just isn't enough. You just got to have that little bit more. So we're going to make a speaker bracket that mounts 4 speakers in the bed and articulates up. So when he's parked, he can actually raise it up and the sound projects over the bed and out to everywhere. I took a couple of quick measurements off the bed with the bed cover, with the wheel wells, and made a quick drawing on the table so I know exactly what kind of room we have to work with, and we'll come up with some kind of mount that's going to be cool. Just a lot of figuring out to do. You know, there's a lot of pivot points, a lot of measuring. We'll see what happens. We need to make one a little shorter to maybe kick it up a little bit or kick it down a little bit. You can play with all those little angles, all those little pivot points to make the speaker do whatever you want to with it. So once we make them act right, we can duplicate that in bars and pipe and bushings.
Man, that's something to start out, but having some articulation like this where it actually moves and it's got function to it, man, that's that next step.
I'm using the measurements from the rods and bolts to make the final articulating arms for the speakers.
Something like that.
I want these things quick, so Max and Jesse are going to weld these things out, all while me and Jamie are going to make the frame to hold all these mounts to the bed. You know, it's one thing to lay it out on the table and make little bitty mounts and get it in your head, okay, it's going to work, but when you actually convert that over to the bracketry and drill holes and spend time making all the pivot points right, the little bars right, you put it all together, you know, there is some question there if it's really going to work. So right now we're going to put it together and actually see if it's going to do what we need to do.
Man, you just have that in your head, just popped it out?
I mean, figure it out till it works, see what works. Speaker about here, you know, facing out, then coming out over the bed. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like really cool.
We finished fabric, gonna make room for it in the bed.
All right, now we're to the point we need to put this bed on the new frame. But as you can see, the notch of the frame and the gooseneck hitch is gonna stick through the bed. So what I'm gonna do right now is just cut a hole out in this bed floor so I can get it on there, and then we'll go back and figure out how we're gonna fill this back in. When this truck's laid out all the way on the ground, you'll be able to walk up, look in the bed, and the gooseneck hitch and the bag mounts are gonna show through the bed floor. And you get to appreciate all the work that went into this frame, which for me is a nice change. A lot of times we'll do all this, and it simply gets covered up. All right, now we have a hole.
I'm about to cut $10,000 off this truck. We gotta remove all this, because once that truck lays down on the floor, we need room for that big tire to reach all the way up here. Now we get all this out the way, now we got plenty of room for these big wheels and tires.
Which means it's got 4 wheels in the back. So that means we need to make even larger wheel tubs in the bed to fit those 28-inch tires.
This is how we roll our sheet metal to get the same radius as our wheel tub. And we need a little bit more. So the tub has to be extra wide to accommodate both dually wheels on the back of this truck. So what we're gonna do is butt weld the new piece to the old piece, and what that is fitting them tightly together on edge and welding right along the crease. Just to let you know, welding around magnets sucks. These magnets hold the pieces of metal together while I weld, which is good, but because the welder uses a metal wire, that same magnet disrupts the arc connection. So it can be a little tricky. Welding is nearly impossible.
John officiated the marriage of these two pieces of metal. Relationships have ups and downs and bumps. So me, I'm a marriage counselor. I'm gonna smooth this out.
You on fire today?
Things got a little smoky around here.
Hey, Bill, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man.
In the custom car business, it's always good to get those repeat customers. We worked on Doug's 48 GMC truck years ago. Good to see you, man. What are we doing with this thing?
Well, we're not doing anything to the truck. We're going to focus on the most important thing. That's my granddaughter's Polaris.
That?
This.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I know it don't look like a Polaris today, but it used to. Her house was hit by a tornado on Easter Sunday, an EF4 tornado in South Mississippi. They lost everything, destroyed the house, destroyed everything, lost all of her toys, clothes, and she lost her Polaris. And this was the most important thing that she was looking for after the tornado. So we've got to get it fixed. The tornado hit my daughter's house with our 3 grandchildren, and it scared me and my wife to death. We were here in Houston. She called us right before it happened, and then it was 15, 20 minutes before she called us back and told us they were okay. Very scary moment. When everything was done, and this was the first thing she went to looking for, and it was 250 yards away, and you can tell it may have barrel rolled once. So that's why this Polaris is so important.
You know, we customized a lot of vehicles in all different stages of the customization, but never one that's been through a tornado. I don't know if there's really much hope for this thing, but we're definitely going to see what we can do. I think the first thing we need to do is actually get this thing down and really see what we got to do. You know, get that frame back straight. I know there's probably going to be some frame issues, and put new plastics on it, make sure that all bolts back together right. And I think instead of just bolting the factory cage back on, just build something cool for her. Make it so she's, you know, not only looking cool, but safe also.
Absolutely. She loves this thing, and whatever you do is going to make it that much better, Bill.
Yeah, this thing's going to be cool. You know, this isn't a normal project we do around here. You know, but being so close to the Gulf, we know all about what those storms can do. Anything we can do to help you, man, and help your granddaughter, you know we're in.
Man, I appreciate you, Bill. That's why I come to see you.
You know, a job like this is what I would normally turn away. But, you know, when an old friend brings it in and it has such a heartwarming story, you don't have any choice but to help out. Looking at this after it's been in a storm though it has, and just seeing the steel being mangled and rolled over, but it just shows you how much power the wind has. Then I'm just happy no one was hurt in that. I'm gonna pull this into the shop and everybody's gonna go, what are you doing? What's this here for? But once they hear the story and they hear who it's for, I know they're gonna be all in. By the time we get a small project, right?
The heck happened to this thing? It looks like somebody jumped it.
Man, this thing was in a tornado. The wind did this. Chunked this thing a quarter mile. You know, it's Doug's granddaughter. She just cherished this thing. This was her favorite thing to have, right? And they lost their house. They lost everything. So we need to bring this thing back to life. What I want to do is get it in the shop so we got a nice level surface. Let's take off all the plastics and, you know, skirting on this thing to see what's bent and what's straight.
Yeah, I'm sure once you get all this off, all kind of stuff's going to be...
Yeah, I'm definitely afraid of that, but it ain't something we can't handle for sure. You know, once we get everything back straight, I want to go back with new plastics, bumpers, front and rear. And we'll probably wrap the new plastics too to not have the
everybody else look.
Exactly. If we're going to do it, we might as well make it special for it. We'll put doors on this thing, to get rid of that. It's not as safe as doors on this thing. We'll top it off with some lighting, and she had speakers underneath here, but we'll add some cool ones to it. Once we get all the bottom of this thing all nice and straight, we'll go back with a custom cage, just a one-off, and we'll make the roof a little longer, stronger, meaner, and a lot cooler looking.
It's really cool to do this back for her and make it all back to something she really enjoyed. It's gonna be better than Christmas for her.
Be nice to be a part of that, right?
Yeah.
Doug's definitely gonna be Grandpa of the Year.
I might adopt him as my grandpa.
Keegan and Joey are gonna tear this down so I can see what shape the chassis is in.
Kid, you ever have one of these in here, kid?
Not something like this big, but maybe a little small, like a little tiny 4x4.
Little small one?
Yeah, ride around every once in a while.
Good?
Yeah.
Good over there? Ready to go up.
Tweak to the rear of the frame on the little side-by-side. So what I'm going to use is the Porta-Power here. It's basically a slender jack. So you put the little pieces together till it fits into place, put it in between the frame and the bent part of the frame, jack it up perfectly straight when I'm done. Double check the level real quick on that.
It's riding the line a little bit, but it's still in between the lines.
We want it on the money.
Well, it's off. It needs to come up on this one.
This one? Up?
Yes. Come on up, right there.
Being thrown through the air like it was, this frame is in better shape than I thought it was going to be. Check it right here. But even small bends to it can have huge consequences.
It's kind of wobbly on that thing.
So our first step, we need to straighten it up.
Go up on it?
Yeah. Go up, Mo. Up. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. Let's get a long piece of tubing and stick right here. We went just a little too far, so we can give it a little tweak.
Okay.
So we're jacking it up, push a little bit. So you got to push it up just past level, so when the tension releases, it comes back level, right? Well, we went just a little bit too far, so we're just going to take a big bar, twist that sucker again, and make it perfect. Man, do that one more time. I think you got it. Perfect. Size-wise, this 20, but because the tornado literally threw it a quarter of a mile, it's got some big issues. Jamie fixed the axles, we straightened the frame, so now we can put on new plastics and doors.
All right, Jamie, I think we're ready for the door, man.
Well, let's see what happens.
Try to get the other door on.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Hey, Bill.
Huh?
Everything's in. Man, this is how much further than it's supposed to be.
To the center of that hole.
That one ain't the same shape.
That's 32 and an 8. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
It's got a belly.
Typical job, you thought was cut and dry. Okay, this is bent. Let's fix it. Done. Everything should line up, right? Well, that's not the way it works. Start putting the doors on it. Notice, whoa, this doors overlaps the body by an inch. So trying to just bend it back an inch is going to be pretty difficult.
Where do we even start to pull it?
Let's get this thing off of here, get it loaded up on the back of the wrecker. Okay. We'll strap it down and see if we can pull it with the winch.
Cool.
Tilt forward. We got the front and the back of the frame are still tweaked. So we're going to use the wrecker and the winch to stretch the body, all while keeping the integrity of the frame. It's the only tool I can think of. We can pull at multiple points at one time and still hold everything from the back and strap it down to the wrecker. So we'll see what happens. Here, come do this real quick. Let me look at it.
Okay. Ready?
I'll tell you when to stop. Just as easy as you possibly can.
All right.
Okay, do it again. All right. Cut off. and the winch definitely done its job. Doors got plenty of room now. We definitely tweaked it, moved it forward. You know, the next thing is getting everything back nice and level so it all lines up and everything will be on the money. Over on the other side of the shop, Tim and John are finishing up the extra large wheel tubs on that 2020 Denali.
Now we got a completed extended rear tub. Now I can get this placed in the bed, clamped with a straight edge across the top, get it tacked in place. That fits nicely. I like it. Place. Now we can weld these things fully and get ready to move on to capping these edges and putting the bed back on the truck.
We have the tubs made here. Now we need to make the filler go down to here. Something to keep the dirt out of there, the mud, the water coming out all the way. This will really just enclose the wheels and it adds strength and structure to the tub. So we're going to tack it. When we come back and grind it, it'll all look like one piece, like it wasn't made out of three pieces. This whole tub will look like a one piece you just set in here.
Because the Denali needs to look like a show truck and perform like a work truck, we need to build a massive set of control arms to keep all that weight going straight down the road.
Building control arms for a bigger truck, you want to have a stronger arm than your typical square body or regular half-ton pickup truck. That's why we use thicker material, bigger, better ball joints to be able to accommodate not only the weight of the vehicle, but the weight that's actually attached to the back of it as well.
Go ahead and throw the wheel on just to make sure when it pushes out, we're not hitting here. We clear everything. See what it looks like laid out too.
Yeah. The top of this bar is going to that represents our suspension being bottomed out completely, which in turn means the truck laid out all the way on the floor.
Now, you think it looks good in there? You got to see it from out here. It ate up half that wheel, put it all the way in there. It looks good. It looks real good.
Does it look as good as me?
We sent the chassis off to powder coat. Now we can get to reconnecting, which is probably miles of wire, back into a space that's way more limited.
So when we first got started with this truck, hooking all of this, that was easy. Very easy. But going back and putting it all in, laying all the harnesses out, that's really, really not fun. Oh, you didn't just bring more wiring over here. I was starting to feel good until I seen you walk over with that. Was that heavy?
A little bit. Now I know why this is a 1-ton.
Needed a 1-ton just to hold up all the harness.
Yeah. You got this, buddy.
We're going to have to get that box to fit through there.
We got to get all these wires, all these sensors, everything plugged back. Almost everything works on a loop, where if this isn't connected, half the truck on that side won't work. If something's not connected, a little sensor in the back, this might not work, that might not work. So everything has to be plugged in just as it's factory, so the computer doesn't throw any codes or act like there's a problem anywhere.
Custom frame for the 2020 Denali is back from powder coat. The white is going to match perfect with the body.
You know, the powder makes a really, really nice coating on it, and it gets in every crack and crevice. From the raw steel, raw tubing, raw pipe, to this, it's come a long ways. It looks totally different once you get some color on it.
Definitely, looks real good.
The fact that it's color matched to the truck, it didn't look like you just took some frame and put anything. You know that frame goes to that truck on those wheels. Everything unloaded, everything's situated on the table. We can start assembling the frame, put the motor and transmission on it, roll it underneath the body, and put the body down. And it's going to look good with them big billet wheels on it going down the road.
Tornado damage on the 2019 Polaris. Now Jamie and I are going to build a custom cage from scratch. You know, the tornado definitely threw this thing for many loops, but you know, we got this thing back where it needs to be. The next step is building the cage. So once the cage is built, tied into the framework of the little side-by-side, everything is going to be super strong and not bend or give. And it's going to hold everything perfectly level and straight. So what I'm going to do first is just start bending some pipe up, get the angles right, and kind of step back and look at it, see what feels right, and just keep building upon that. Send it over here. Drop it for me, please. What I want to do is build a sporty custom cage. We obviously have to replace what's missing. So if we're going to do that, I want to make something, you know, a little bit lower profile, stretch it a little bit. Instead of just buying a new one online, you know, that's what we do. We build custom things. So not only, you know, put some safety back in it, some rigidity back in it, but put some custom coolness back in it too. I like the way how everything flows, man. It looks good, and it's super strong too. She's gonna be happy.
Definitely looks real good together.
My kids are gonna be so jealous.
Oh, we gotta build another one?
Man, it's come a long way since this little side-by-side was tossed by the tornado. Jamie's making a custom aluminum roof.
That fits nice. We're happy with that.
And we had a custom wrap made for it. We're adding in a brand new stereo system and some light bars. I can't wait for Doug's granddaughter to see this thing now. So I'm really excited. You know, we finally got this project done. Today's the day we're going to give it back to some special little girl. You know, typically I would usually turn a project away like this, but, you know, considering it's for Doug and what it means to Doug and his family, you know, I can't not help out on this.
What's going on, Bill? Man, good to see you.
How you doing, man?
This is my granddaughter, McKinley.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I heard a lot about you. Grandpa's pretty proud of you.
That's right.
Your grandpa was telling me you were in a little scary little incident a while back. Tell me what happened.
There was a tornado.
You were in the tornado? Was that scary?
Yeah.
Man, I bet it was. Not only your house was totally gone, there was something you really loved was gone too, right? What was that?
My buggy.
The wind took it way far away?
Down to our pond.
In the pond? It was messed up bad, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Her buggy was only 6 months old, so I knew I had to bring it here to get it fixed. It meant a lot to her. Now it's time to see what Bill and the boys have done.
I tell you what, we got you fixed up. Grandpa got you fixed up. You ready to check it out?
Yeah.
I bet you are. I bet you ready to ride.
You ready to ride?
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Let's see it. Holy cow, look at that, McKinley. Man, that is awesome, Bill. Look at that. What do you think?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
Golly. Wow. Bill, that don't even look like the same buggy.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Man.
Last time you seen it was a little squished, huh?
Yeah. When the buggy came out, I was so excited to see it. Let's just say I was speechless.
Man, that thing looks great, Bill. Tell me what all y'all did.
Well, you seen the parts we had to work with, right?
Yeah, I did.
Once we put it on the lift, we started dismantling it. We really noticed the frame was hurt a lot more than originally thought.
Yeah.
You know, the plastics and everything were hiding a lot of damage underneath there. It had to replace the rear axle, replaced all the plastics. So we put new bumpers on it. And of course, it didn't have...
What's that on the door?
A tornado.
A tornado?
Had Pixelworks come over and they custom wrapped it. They designed this wrap for you.
For you. You know how we know it's just for you? It's got Doodle on the door.
Hey, where'd you get the name Doodle?
Popsy gave it to me.
Popsy gave it to you? That's awesome.
Man, it looks great, Bill. It really does.
Build a whole new cage. We made all that in-house. Instead of buying, you know, just a replacement, we made it a little bit shorter and a little bit more laid back. Give it a little more cool look, sleek look. Made a new roof for it, made it a little bit longer. We made it all out of aluminum. Went back with lighting, you know, had to put the stereo back in it. And we put some little antennas on the back with lights in them.
That's all. What do you say?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Doug, I know this is special for you, and it's special for us.
Man, that's nice, isn't it?
Thank you for letting us be a part of this very special project. Over on the other side of the shop, The guys are making good progress on the rolling chassis. And now it's the moment of truth.
4 links to the axle, hook the airbags up, and then we'll be able to run all the brake lines, the brake calipers, put the front wheels on, we can air it up and roll it out. But we have to put all the wiring on there, all the modules, the DEF, all that's going back on. So the whole thing will be hooked back up like it was factory. Now it's just the tedious part of just putting it all back together.
This 2020 Denali wants this low and loud. We got the low taken care of, now to make it loud by finishing up the articulating speakers. I got the hard part done. I got the lifting part that's going to lift the speakers over the bed. You know, the next step to all this is making it motorized. So I'm going to put an actuator on the back to lift this up, but I'm going to try to do it with just one actuator and trying to make it lift evenly. That's another little trick too. So once that's all set up, put 12 volts to it, it should lift these speakers right up over the bed. It's pretty dang close. You know, the whole object of this whole bracketry is pushing a button and having the speakers come out of the bed. Just whole overall project, right? What I'm going to do is cut out a piece of 2x2 square tubing to make a bracket for the lower part of the actuator. Affix it to the whole bracket, push a button, and it lifts up. We got all our little pieces cut. We got everything mocked up. The next step is putting some power to it and see if this actually works. You know, everything we build, you know, you have a general idea. Once you have the idea, then you start building plans. The main thing is just having the creativity of having the idea. That's a huge hurdle. Once you have that, it's just using your skills, using your tools, and just making it happen. Pretty cool.
Everything back from powder coat. We've got all the front suspension on, the rear suspension's on, brake lines are ran, fuel lines are ran. We're at the exciting point now. We can finally marry this cab to this chassis. It's like you do everything, and here's the keys to the new house. Now you can move in.
Is that in?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Just trying to line up here to line up this bolt with this hole. It'll go straight down. It makes it much easier. Plus the motor's so tight, the transmission's so tight that you don't have a lot of room side to side. All right, ready? Yeah. So we put it down. It's a little bit too far off. We'll hit the body. We could hit a module. Could hit something else. So we're taking a little bit of time. Line this up. Drop the whole thing down, and everything should clear. How's the radiator look?
We're getting close.
Watch your fingers. We married the cab to the chassis. We're about to do the bed to the chassis. All right, we gotta watch this bar when we set this down. We can't scratch it.
Down, 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 down.
Go forward, down. All right. We're good. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
And now you can see the bed on the truck. You can see all the notch coming through that's gonna hold the gooseneck. All that white shining through the black bed liner just stands out and pops really nice.
Now we got about 40% of the wiring done. This thing got so much electrical going on. It's about a full day of work just messing with wiring. This is the main fuse box to the whole vehicle. If this ain't hooked up correctly, it needs to be sent. I should only go on one way. See that little green thing pop up? That means it's connected and tight. The plug from the bottom is seated properly to the pins at the bottom of this fuse panel.
Man, we're at the final stages of getting this truck off the lift and on the ground. Seems like we've been doing wiring for 4 days now.
I'm so sick of seeing wires. Most of them are plugged in. Only a few left that are really giving me a hard time. There is just a ton of wiring and connectors that gotta get crammed in the areas and tied down. Oh man, so much stuff.
On big builds like this, it's super satisfying to see it all come together at the end. 28-inch wheels, speakers attached to articulating arms in the bed. We're ready to show this to the world.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been here 7 years now.
I've been here 7 years also.
Oh, yeah. Sure have, huh?
This year will be 12 years.
That's 12 too many.
You know, it's like anything when you start here. You know, Bill has his own way of doing it, and then you start seeing a new helper show up. He starts doing it some other way, and you're like, maybe the way Bill's going to want it.
Yeah,
so
you got to pass it on. Everything will roll along a lot smoother doing it the way we've done it.
It's definitely easier, you know, that we work together so much that we already know how this other person works. You know, I know what you're going to do, I know how you're going to do it, and I can pick up right where y'all left off.
We just practically became mind readers. We know what each other's we know what each other's doing and how to continue.
Pretty sure I spend more time here than home.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can guarantee you I'll open that gate and shut that gate more than Bill himself.
You're right about that.
The big day for the 2020 Denali is finally here. And JD drove all the way down from Kansas City to see what we've been up to. What's up, man?
What's going on, Bill? Good to see you again.
Dang, good to see you, man. It's a great day, huh?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Great day to pick up a dually.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I heard you got a little car collection yourself.
Yeah, I do. I got quite a few lifted trucks, a few hot rods.
But never anything lowered.
Yeah, nothing slammed.
You know, what finally clicked and said, I gotta have a lowered dually?
I heard it was the world's first. I had to do it. Nothing better than a lowered dually. The reason why I wanted a lowered truck this time is just pulling up to shows, being able to slam it down to the ground, watch people's, response. Just something different than the lifted truck scene that's been going on the last few years.
I love lifted trucks, but, close to my heart is lowered trucks, and especially lowered dualies.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
You ready to check it out?
I am.
All right, come on, Timmy. Let's check it out.
Oh, no way. No way. Oh. Yeah, you guys knocked this out of the park. Yes. Yes. Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. Yes. Hey, I wanted it low. You got it low for me. Yeah, that looks good. The white frame, color matched everything, sitting on the ground. This is beyond my expectations. I can't believe it.
What you think?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you guys did an amazing job. It's awesome.
Thank you, man. I mean, Timmy, John, they got down on this, as always. Well, how we had to start is picked it up on the lift and just started unbolting and unbolting and unbolting. Once that was all done, rolled it out and just got busy. Built the suspension, the air suspension on it, to building super strong control arms, to a big, heavy-duty four-link for the rear. I mean, this is one of the biggest, strongest frames we've ever built here. I mean, it is overkill.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you want. That peace of mind when you're going down the road, you want to know that everything is 100% strong and built the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you guys did it. So it's absolutely amazing what these guys can do. Can take a brand new 2020 truck, take the old frame out and build a frame from scratch. I mean, I'm just absolutely blown away.
JD, what do you think about those wheels?
Yeah, I love them.
A 28-inch dually wheel on something that low, it just makes a huge, huge statement.
Yeah, the polish looks great on them. Engraved the Richline Motorsports in it. Perfect fit, too.
To finish it all off, you see everything's been color matched. Got rid of all the black plastic. We smoothed all that out, painted it body color. And, it just makes this truck look classy.
Yeah, it does. It's not too much chrome, not too much white. It just all flows together.
Let's check out under the hood.
Yeah, let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks good. I can't believe that you guys took all this out and got it back in and still made it look factory. Yeah, that's amazing. Man, it was hard enough getting the motor up to the cowl, much less. Yeah, I got the tubs in here, color match everything. I mean, it looks great.
I appreciate that. You think this is cool. I really got something to show you in the back.
Yeah, let's check it out. I'm excited to see it. Oh, yeah. God, that is crazy crazy. You can see everything.
Right?
Got the gooseneck in here. That is amazing.
That isn't just something that just bolts into the bed. That is all made directly to the frame. It's artwork made into the framework itself.
Yeah, this should be able to pull anything that I need to pull.
Absolutely. Those huge airbags on there, just pick this big truck right off the ground with whatever weight you got on it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
You wanted some speakers in the back.
Yeah, I see that you guys added some speakers in here. Show me the other part.
Yeah, Timmy hit it. You know, down here in the bed's cool. It's going to make, you know, a lot of noise, but check this out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
There's just one more thing. People are just going to go, what?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Not only, you know, the look of the truck is going to draw people, when they hear this sound, it's just going to project for a mile away.
Yeah, that's awesome how it's got the actuator to bring it right up. I mean, you guys knocked it out of the park. This is a dream come true right here. Hey, you know what? Maybe next SEMA, I can find something a little bit harder for you guys.
JD, you threw us a tall order, but as you can see,
an entirely new dash, something that'll give us a new feel for a very old truck.
You know, this is the first time making a frame with cut plate like this for extensive. It's only been a few months since we finished phase 1 on Ronald's 71 Suburban. What brings you back?
I need some more work done to it.
We can definitely weight this thing up.
I've discovered a huge no-no.
You know, it's not only wrong, it's dangerous.
I'm always up for making things go faster.
This is the definition of custom. I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. Customer Jose, he's gotta have a 68. Jose been to a few places looking at a couple projects. None of them really worked out, but hopefully today we'll have a little more luck. What's up, Jose?
Hey, Bill, how you doing? Well, I've been looking for a 68 for a while, but I haven't found one that has caught my eye.
So my boy Rigo said he's got one in the back of his shop, man. Maybe we might be able to make a deal if you're interested. Maybe we'll test drive this thing.
Let's check it out, see what he got.
We'll see what's up. Rigo!
What's up, baby?
Rigo's a welder who helps us out from time to time. He's got a 68 Chevy in the back that he's used a few parts off of that'll be right up our alley.
It's in the bag, man. I hope it can work out a deal. How's the body look? Body's straight?
It looks good, man. For what y'all gonna do is right.
All right, well, let's check it out.
Look at it.
The 68 truck has always been my dream truck since I was a kid. Growing up and going to car shows, it's the one that always stood out for me.
Here we go.
There it is. Well, Bill, it is a 68 cab. I was thinking we were going to buy a whole truck.
Yeah. You know, Rigo told me he had a truck. Rigo's got parts.
You got a nickname, Keith.
Yeah, keys.
I know Bill's the master at this, but guess we got to keep looking.
Well, man, you know, all the ones we looked at, they look good till you get up to them and really start looking, and then you find all the little hidden problems.
Right.
The advantage to something like this is you see all the problems. There's nothing hidden here.
Right.
You know, so getting a vehicle, well, parts like this is kind of a head start. This actually save a few hours of teardown time.
I see what you're saying, you know, maybe it saves some time, but, you know, is it really feasible for us to buy a truck in pieces like we have it now?
Man, everything's here. The bed's clean, which is really hard to find. The door's decent, fenders, hood, and that's pretty much everything we need to really start building a truck like this.
But there's a reason I came to Bill. I trust him. If he tells me that this is enough parts to build my dream truck, I'm going to roll the dice, and we'll see what he can come up with.
Man, we don't need 85% of the truck. Okay. We're just going to toss it and start anyway. So you want, you know, a full custom chassis, suspension, the brakes, new wheels, tires, crazy engine, and interior. I mean,
you'll have to tear it apart anyways.
I think it's a heck of a start, man.
Right. Yeah, I want that truck that's a showstopper, that's a little unique. If you think you and your team can give me my dream truck with these parts, I think we can take it off Rigo's hands.
Sure, let's go holler at Rigo. I kind of like the fact there's not too many in 1968s anymore. There's only so many made. If you find a 1968, it's either way built out, way pricey, or it's just way too far gone. There's very few or in between. This 68 is in a lot of pieces. Most shops that see a project like this and just keep walking by. And this one would have just continued to rust and just fall apart, cease to exist in so many years. But with the skill we have here, the tools we have here, the manpower we have, the knowledge we have, we're going to create something really cool.
Man, I wonder when the truck's getting here.
Got some parts for us?
This is it.
Man, one of these days they're just going to come with the steering wheel and expect us to build something.
I hope there's some more parts in the van.
We got everything we need right here. We don't need the frame. We don't need the interior. We don't need all that stuff a truck usually comes with. It's a head start, Tyson.
Thanks, boss.
Look, you can see inside of the cab. All the problems are exposed right now. We know exactly what we need to do, and we're good. It's a great start.
Definitely know what we don't have, too.
To really set this thing apart from all the other ones on the road, we're going to start with a huge motor in this thing. You know, about 900 horsepower is what I want. A full custom chassis front to back because Jose wants to put it all the way on the ground with these huge wheels, 26 by 16s in the back. Fabricated rear end, smooth bed, everything, all the sheet metal contoured and painted all body color. You know, as far as the firewall, we're going to cut all that completely out and make a new one. Some bead roll panels in, something that looks really cool. It's nothing for you guys.
You got this, Tim.
You have a plan for the interior?
We're going to let John just roll with it and go crazy. As far as the dash, that thing has to be cut completely out. I can't stand these dashes that are in these trucks. We're going to build every piece and put a ton of stereo in it. Want it really loud also. For the doors.
Got doors?
Yes, we got doors. You know, that's a huge head start too. Have flush mount glass put in this thing. It's going to be totally custom. Step ahead right there. It's easy. Hope I didn't jinx myself on it. Come on, man. Let's get this thing off here.
Let's do it.
You know, the good thing about getting a truck in this shape, we don't have to spend a lot of time tearing it down. We set the cab straight to blast, and because that's all we have is the cab, it came straight back. And it's in pretty good shape. But we're not done tearing it down, because now John's going to make room for a custom dash.
So we're going to do something in this truck that's going to give us a nice new feel for something that's been done over and over and over. You know, you can only beat a dead horse so long until you just throw it away and buy a new horse. So, new horse. The plan here is first, we've got to get rid of all this old dash. We'll be cutting from door to door, all the way across the top, unbolt it, and just throw this whole thing away. We're going to be building an entirely new dash, new instrument cluster, AC controls, something that'll give us a nice new feel for a very old truck. Now there's nothing left to do but everything.
Yeah, but everything.
I'm starting to work on the 68 Chevy frame. Jose wanted something just totally different. He's like, hey, just make me something that's unique. So with a truck that's super low to the ground with air suspension, it's pretty common to see frame rails coming up, protruding through the bed floor and going over the axle. Well, in this case, I want to show off the axle itself is the beauty of the suspension. So you look down into the bed and you see it just custom axle with suspension going underneath of it and not really seeing a traditional frame. So I think that's what's going to be the cool aspect of this whole build. Most of the link bar setups that we do is just a 2x2 box tubing with a block on it, and they bolt to the axle. Well, this is going to be just as different. This chipboard is going to represent our link bar. So it's going to bolt to the frame and come back and grab and just hold the rear end. We're going to burn 4 plates at a 1/4 inch plate and then come all the way back to the back side of the frame and then box it all in. Just to save a little time and effort, I'm going to have 2x4 box tubing to here, and then I'm going to graft it to what we're going to build. There. The next step is just transferring everything that's on the table onto my piece of paper so Jesse can burn it out, figured out. Got my saddles figured out. I got my frame rails figured out. Off to Jesse. The plasma table about 12 years ago, and almost every car that's came through here since, we made a part or parts with it. But like all good tools, especially ones you use every day, they wear down. So we ordered a brand new, way better table. But I got one more job for this one. Need your help. All right, I want you to burn these link bars out for me. 4 of these 1/4 inch material, 4 of these 1/4. And the same with the frame rails. All right. This is probably going to be our last job on the old burn table. We got that brand new one coming in. So let's put the whole into work one last time. All right.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is all the measurements that I got off the cardboard that Bill gave me, I have to put on here. We're going to cut 4 pieces of each, which will make it 8 total. All right, so this is going to be the last time this machine is going to be used. Old Betsy here. This is it for her. Those look good. I like how they came out. They came out real clean. Just clean them up. Polish them out. Take them over to Bill. That was the last run for this machine. Man, I can't wait to use the new one.
There's a good reason why 68 C10s are so popular. With that classic body style, there's a lot of room for customization. For me, the difference between an average C10 and an over-the-top C10 is most definitely the details, like a John Burgess one-off handmade dash.
This is essentially the foundation for the dash. Everything's going to attach to this and be built from this structure out. So I want to make sure that this piece lines up and gets in here exactly where we want it, nice and smooth and even. Because if not, we're going to see it in the end. And with this being the dashboard, you're going to be sitting here staring at it all day, every day as you're driving this truck. So you'll see what's wrong with it. So we want to make sure we take the time to get everything just right. We'll get it secured in place and get ready for Brian's pieces.
Got a delivery!
Just in time.
Ooh, hot off the there. Hot, don't touch it.
Well, I just getting everything marked out here where they're all going to go. I'll mark them. You want to cut them and we'll get them glued?
I'll cut them.
Got jigsaw ready to go.
Ready to go. Let's do it.
All pieces to the puzzle. Perfect. Look who it is.
Oh man, he's back.
It still looks good.
Man, it does. It's only been a few months since we finished phase 1 on Ronald's 71 Suburban. It came in pretty dated, but it left with a huge custom lift, big wheels and tires, and a completely custom interior, dash, headliner, seats, and audio. After he saw it, I can tell Ronald got bit by the customization bug. And sure enough, he's already back.
What's going on, Bill?
What's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Man, how you doing?
Tim?
How was your drive?
It was good, man.
How's that thing doing, man?
It's awesome. Turning heads everywhere I go.
Yeah.
It draws a crowd.
Man, that thing's still looking good.
It's beautiful, man. I'm thrilled with it.
Man, that's always good to hear.
Oh, always, yeah.
What are you doing? What brings you back?
I need some more work done to it.
Phase 2?
Phase 2.
All right, now you're talking.
Drove it around a lot, had a good time with her. Phase 2 is now on my mind, the bug bit me, and I'm totally into it. You know, I really want to take this truck to the next level.
So, Ron, what you thinking on phase 2?
I'm thinking I need more power in the motor. I need something to beef it up a little bit. I mean, it's good the way it is, but it's a big truck. It needs some power in it to push her around.
It's some big wheels and tires.
It sure is, man. It sure is.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Ron, it's definitely a little underwhelming, right?
Definitely.
I mean, but you got a great platform. I mean, the LS in it is definitely the way to go. I mean, we can definitely wake this thing up.
I'm sure you can.
You know, I think what this engine compartment needs is a supercharger on this thing. New intake, you know, new exhaust all the way out the back, and some painting underneath here. You know, bring the body color into the engine compartment and just make it so, you know, you can be proud of this thing when you pop the hood.
I won't be afraid to open her up.
Yeah.
Let people see this part.
I agree, man. We need to add some color, add some style, take off this stock valve cover, stock air cleaner.
That's got to go.
I think everything in here's got to go.
I'm trusting you, Bill.
This thing's going to be right. You know, it's a shame having a custom truck where you can't pop the hood. So I'm glad Ronald wants to fix up this engine compartment. I think something else that might be pretty cool on here is, the thing looks mean coming down the road at you, but maybe adding some aftermarket bumpers to really just finish off the attitude of it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of attitude right now, but you're right. I think some bumpers on to set her off.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I'm getting up there in age, man. And my knees can't take jumping out of this thing all the time.
We lifted it too high for you?
It's a little too high, man. So, some nice steps on there, whatever you think, you know, to fit the vehicle, you let me know.
Would definitely get you hooked up with that, but you know, wouldn't want to put a Nerf bar or anything on this. It just looks too clean from the side, not seeing the steps. So we'll get some retractable ones so you can still get in it easy, but
I agree. I'd rather not know that they're even there. I think that's the way to go.
That sounds cool, man. Let's get this phase 2 going, go make it official.
Sounds good.
A customer always tell you, hey, I'm going to come back, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, when they actually come back, they come into the parking lot, you see them back, you know we're doing a good job. We're doing what we're supposed to do. It's time for phase 2. I know exactly what happened. Once a customer gets their car for a little while, they drive around, put miles on it, you know, their brain starts working. They start thinking about, you know, what they need, what vehicle better. That just goes to show you, you know, when you're bit by the custom bug, you get that feeling. You just got to have more and more and more. You know, just like any part of the project, especially like a phase 2, I just love that progression. I love how the project evolves, even bigger and better.
What's going on, buddy?
You remember we did this truck a while back, put the lift kit on it and all the interior? We took it back home. He wanted to just drive it for a while, and now he's saying he doesn't have enough power. So now we're going to put a Pro Charger in here, and then we're going to put a front runner kit on the front, so that'll dress up all the motor. Probably put some headers on this thing, let the air flow out of the motor a little better. He wants to just clean up the engine bay, just make it look where if he pops the hood, it's presentable.
I mean, it's decent, but I'm sure he wants it a whole lot better, right?
Yeah, he wants to add some bumpers because, you know, the truck's lifted now and in your face, you just kind of see the stock bumpers. So we're going to add something like a steel bumper on front and rear.
Some nice aggressive bumpers on it. Definitely wake this thing up.
You know, and when building these trucks, it's never done. It could be phase 10. You still got to add something.
Yeah, I'm still not done.
In order to get more access to the engine compartment, I've asked Edgar and the guys to pull the front end off.
The fab guys are going to put a supercharger on this thing. So what I need to do, I need to take off pretty much the whole front end of this vehicle so they can have space to work on it and do what they have to do. I put tape lines all over the front end. So when everything is off, put it back together, it should be the same way. Hey, go up, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, the other way, the other way.
Putting this engine apart, you know, you can tell it looks like it has a ton of miles on it, which is typical, you know, road dirt, road grime, everything from driving your vehicle, which this man did. But it's all coming off very nicely. What I'm doing is cleaning all the intake ports, and I'm gonna mask all that up, tape it up, so nothing will get inside the cylinder heads. Something gets in there, gets through the valve, goes in the combustion chamber, it'll mess up pistons, valves, all kinds of stuff. We don't want that to happen. That's why I don't wear wedding rings. Oh no. There's a big notch in this frame, which somebody made in order for the exhaust to clear. It shouldn't have been this big. When you got a notch in frame like this, you got to go back and put some kind of reinforcement back in there because you just took out a lot of strength. And driving around with notches like this is really dangerous. So we got to build it back up the right way.
When we built the lift for the 71 Suburban, the headers were hiding in the cutout section of the frame. Only after we removed everything could we see it. You know, it's not only wrong, it's dangerous. It makes the whole frame weak. So John's got to fix those frame rails before we do anything else.
The issue you have with this is you don't have very much structure right here in this area. How thin it is to the wall when you're driving, going through rough terrain or whatever. It makes the frame twist and bend and everything. When it does that, it causes cracks. So what we're gonna do is go back and repair this, grind this up, clean it up real nice, make it look like it's never been cut before. I got those grinded down. I'm ready to cut out the plate to go in there. So we got us some 1.5 by 5 inches, 3/16, same thickness as the frame that we're gonna patch back up in here. But first I gotta get this piece to fit in there perfect. Once that's done, we'll get it welded in. I think it should fit in there now. One of the best things you can do when butt welding some plate together is make a nice bevel on the edges. Wherever you're gonna butt to, you do it on the plate and the material so you get a nice V groove in there. When you lay your weld down in there, it penetrates all the way through the bottom end of the plate, and you only gotta weld the top. You won't have to get to the bottom because your penetration will go all the way through. Got that fully welded in, a little smooth out, and it'll be good. We got the strength back in here. It's good as new.
Jesse finished making the plates for the custom frame on the 68 chassis. So now all we got to do is box those plates in. You know, this is the first time making a frame with cut plate like this for extensive. We never just really had the time to take the time to make a custom chassis like this because it is a ton of work. Jesse did a real good job of cutting out this 1/4 inch plate in the shape of a frame. So the next step we're going to do is wrap some 2-inch flat bar all the way around the shape of the plate. And we're gonna box it in, weld it, grind it, and it's gonna look like it's a bought piece. So what we do is just bend this by hand. You see we've got a flat spot here, so it needs to be a little bent, a little more right here. So bend it a little more right there. Alright, see if you can get one rubbed into that. Alright, you see just the layout, the drawing, the cutting, the shaping, the welding, and even the grinding. It takes 10 times more than just a regular chassis. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, move it down a little bit. So we're putting a lot of extra time into making Jose something really, really cool, really sculpted, and really special.
So as you heard Bill say, this is a first for extensive. I'm new to the shop, so this is a first for me also. Kind of got thrown in the mix, but it's the only way you're going to learn. It's cool to be able to be working here and be working on something that's never been done here also.
You know, we got a lot of tools around here to do all kind of different metal shaping, but, you know, sometimes it's just way more efficient just to grab the metal and just start manipulating it by hand. And, you know, that's the true definition of working with your hands and being handcrafted.
All right, I got this one close. Bill's template, a couple more bends, and it should match. It's gonna work, guys.
While we're boxing in the 68 Chevy's frame piece by piece, over in interior, John and Brian are moving on to the next stages of the custom dash.
You know, the structure's really coming along. Everything's starting to come together and take shape. We're gonna have some place to put a headlight switch, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna attach that
to the dash pad and make that part of the dash pad, and it'll come down and sit on top of the dash right here. Sits here, you got your headlight switch right here, it'll all tie together, it'll look pretty cool. That's the thing about these things, they're organic. They kind of take shape and do things as you work along. So as Brian's over here doing the body work and getting the lines in and everything's starting to take shape, you can really see it and know where you're headed. And you get to add those little touches to it along the way to make sure that everything flows perfectly and just nice. The cool part about it, the organic part of it, is just it grows as you go. So it's enjoyable. Look what I got.
Oh, how'd you get that thing?
8-9 weeks out, we got it in a week, so can't complain.
No.
And all we get to do now is find out if that internet template works out.
Time to cut it.
We finally got the cluster in and we ordered online. I looked all over for a template. They didn't offer one to print out. Cheated a little bit. I blew the screen up and took a measurement until it all fit, traced it out, and transferred it. So now's the moment of truth. See if this thing is actually going to fit or not.
Boom, baby.
All right, man, you got it all cut out.
It's all cut out.
There it is.
Moment of truth. Here we go. I got my toes crossed. Don't even worry about it.
Okay. Man, there's no way I got that close off of that template off the computer screen.
Bruh, it fits.
No way. That thing fit that good?
I mean, look, dude. I mean, we're within 1/8 of an inch. Just need a little mud to make it dead on perfect. But, I mean, you can't get no closer than that. Just guessing.
Right on. Cool.
Sweet.
Well, let B's Mud Palace go to town.
Time to mud it up.
We found a really aggressive front bumper for the 71 Suburban. We couldn't find the exact right look for the rear bumper, so we're going to make it out of quarter. He's got a press big enough to bend steel that long and that thick.
What's up? All right, man. Your dad said you had a little project going on for me?
Yes, sir.
We got a bumper here?
Yeah.
Set out a 1/4 inch?
1/4 inch by 75 inches.
It's going to be some heavy-duty bumper here.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll get it done. You can come with me.
All right, let's do it.
All right. This metal here is real thick metal. It weighs about 500 pounds a sheet, 10 pounds per square foot. So that's what we're working with. All right.
It's really cool that my dad can just give me a couple pieces of paper and some measurements and dimensions. I give it to him, he knows exactly what to do.
All right, what you got now? You got 2 inches right here?
Yeah, 3 1/4, 7 1/4 altogether.
All right, we're going to get this show on the road here. This is a 12-foot long press brake. It's 250 tons pressure that it'll bend 90 degrees. If you need a big piece of metal bent, you need to come see this brake right here.
Now, let's see.
Yeah, it looks good, man.
It does.
I think we got it.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
With the Suburban's frame fixed, Edgar's color matched the firewall and the engine. Now it's time for Matt to wake up that LS.
Perfect.
Now that we got our motor back in it, we get our Pro Charger on it. It's a belt-driven blower. It's going to force air into the motor. With more airflow plus more fuel, you're going to get a lot more power. So motors have always been my thing. They've always come kind of easy to me. I'm always up for making things go faster. This plate allows us to mount the blower to the factory pulley assembly. And now we can go ahead and install our head unit, which will attach right to the bracket off to the side here. This is just the idler pulley here. So the motor's power will spin the crankshaft and the belt through all the idler pulleys to the blower pulleys to create all the airflow that'll come out of here. All right, so now we're gonna put our sheet metal intake on. So this intake allows for better airflow. The way the runners are built, it's designed for the air to travel smoother into the motor with less restriction. So not everything has to do with performance in the custom world. Sometimes you just want to spend that money to get your engine to look good. Part of the reason we're changing these valve cups, factory, all the coils sit
on the LS belt covers, and these ones come with no provisions for coil packs, and we're gonna hide them just for the overall appearance. It's gonna be a lot better looking. Next step, we're gonna put our throttle body on. It controls the airflow into the motor. When you mash it to the floor, it pulls it open and allows all the air that this ProCharge is gonna create to push right in there. We got that put on. We can put our AC compressor on, and then we'll move on to putting the main drive belt for the blower on. Okay, so we're gonna install a set of Shorty stainless headers. These do help with performance, but they also can make it look badass. Like it?
Man, it's huge improvement. You know, this truck's gonna get a whole lot of attention no matter where it goes. And he's gonna have some more power.
Quite a bit more power.
Those tools come together. The 68 C10 frames really come together nice. So we got our pieces we cut on the table, our 1/4-inch plate. It's gonna be the size of our new frame rail. We got our flat bar that we shaped to match the contour of the pieces that we cut. So we're gonna put them together, weld them all up, grind them down, nice clean lines, and all totally custom. Step is just tacking the top part of the frame in. You know, it's like any project, you gotta take your time. You know, the challenge to this is to not have any flat, jerky parts, and you want everything all nice and smooth and consistent. You know, we got to make sure everything is perfect, no flaws in this whatsoever, because everybody's going to be looking.
Thank you.
You know, after a whole lot of cutting, welding, grinding, hand bending, we're at the point we finally start to put pieces together, and it's finally going to start looking like a frame.
Man, this thing looks cool.
Man, it's getting there, huh?
I haven't seen one of these before, or one like this.
Yeah, I've never made one like this. I've never even seen a frame that goes under the frame, comes back and just curves around everything. This is the definition of custom. Here, help me hold this. You can clamp this. This one's going to finish up on the back 1/4 of the frame. Damn, that looks good. You know, we're going to be putting a lot of heat, a lot of welding, and a lot of grinding on this. You know, so I want to maintain this being level, straight, to worry about it moving. If it does move, I can see it coming off the ground and how to correct it as we're building it. You see the back part of the frame, everything flows together. It, you know, starts on one side, just goes all the way around like a old school slot car track. You know, once this is all capped in, that'll finalize the rear part of the frame. Pop in the suspension, the whole back half is completely done. Good morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
It's going.
Give me some good news on the engine transmission for the 68.
The motor and trans that the customer ordered is not ready yet, and we don't know what it is or when it's going to be here.
That always complicates things, right?
Yeah, he can't get a hold of his transmission guy, so we don't know when it's coming, specs, we don't know anything about it.
So we can't mock anything up or anything?
Nothing at all.
And our live space is hot commodity. We're super busy right now, so we can't afford to everything, and then it's still not here. And then the truck's stuck on the lift. So what I think I'll do is just pause the whole thing. You know, I'm disappointed for sure, but I've been in the game long enough to know every build has its own path. You know, sometimes you hit a bump, but I guarantee when we get our parts, we'll get back at it. You know, and then Jose's gonna get his 68 Chevy of his dreams, and then some. Let's have everything all lined up. That way we can pump it out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Next time I come in, give me some good news.
We'll try.
See ya. Come on, Lee. You know, this shop never stops. One might slow down a little bit, but at the same time, phase 2 of the Suburban is almost complete. We got our super strong 1/4-inch plate all bent at a nice little angle, so it's going to look really good against the truck. So the next step is just tacking it to our bumper brackets that we made and start building. Yeah.
You want to just 45 this back?
Just kind of getting an idea, kind of seeing what looks cool, what doesn't. You might add not, it just depends on how it starts looking, how it starts taking shape. Maybe something like that. Just another part of the custom creative process of making something cool. Yeah, whatever looks cool, that's what we're gonna do.
Man, this is rounded right here, and this is kind of stepped to go with the bumper. So I'm trying to manipulate it enough to where I can make this have a bend on this side to follow this, but then I'll probably make it come out, and I'll just cut it with the rounded part, make it follow the bumper.
See what it looks like.
The good part about working at a shop like this, you can do just about anything. Just whatever you think up and create, you can do it on this piece of metal. All right, now we have all the pieces made. They're all tacked in place. We have the shape to take out that big area we had right there on the body. Kind of makes it flow with the truck now. And then we can pull the whole bumper off, weld it out, and put it back on. Next thing we're going to do is make a license plate box. It's going to serve two purposes. It's going to hold the license plate, and if he ever tows, take the license plate off of it, and his receiver hitch is right here behind it. I knew this, but if you ever want to tow something, it kind of disappears when the license plate's on it. If you ever do need to tow something, take the license plate off, put your receiver hitch in, pull it. Whenever you get done, put the license plate back on, and it kind of hides all the receiver hitch, all that. Now, cut the excess off, then I'll put it back up and weld it on finally. We can weld it up here, all the way around, and then come back with a big flat pad and just go down it until we work it down where there's no more weld. It carries the same body lines, but you don't ever get into this hard edge, and it just looks like a more finished product.
Now that the metal work is done, the bumpers can get powder coated and then off to body and paint. Matt's all done waking up this LS with a Pro Charger. We made mounts to install the retractable steps, and phase 2 is complete. Now we're ready to send this truck back to Ronald once again.
Than what it is now. Started off with a little shack, maybe like one wall full of parts. I was just answering phones, most basic stuff ever. And then as it grew and we started selling more parts, more phone calls, more customers, more builds, more appointments, and it's where we're at now. Growing up, I was kind of a tomboy. My dad didn't have any sons for a long time, and so he raised us like boys almost, you know, to fend for ourselves, changing brakes, oil changes, stuff like that. So everything that my dad taught me, I brought here, plus the bagged world, the bagged scene. I learned a lot from Bill, and there's no one better to learn from but him. Working with nothing but guys, it's like having nothing but big brothers around. They're always joking, they're always playing, they give, you know, a hard time, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. We're just one big family.
Real deal, Bill. What's up, Bill? What you up to?
How y'all doing today?
Good, man. Big bro in the neighborhood. Just slide by to get some inspiration. You know, you got something going on over here, man.
You know, I always like when Slim and Raymond come by, but today, you know, I can tell they're on a little mission to see which way the tree. They're in the right spot.
You know, I mean, we've been sitting on the same fleet for a minute, man. This time we got to blow their mind one more time, man. The Mac's still holding, but, you know, we ready to do some more builds.
Yeah.
Just trying to find out what I'm going to do next, man. Is it going to be old school, new school, big truck, or you know what I'm saying? What? Like, get us some ideas.
Man, you already know we just always lifting something up, dropping something down, cutting something up.
What's up, Bill? Ran a little Suburban out?
You got a Suburban?
Yeah, man. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
You know what better time for Slim and Raymond to stop by and check out our latest build? We're just about to ship off phase 2 of Ronald's latest and greatest Suburban.
Whoa, man. Look at this, bro. That's an old school.
He thought it was a new one, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was a new one. That's the old 3-0. Yeah. Nothing better not getting away with that, man.
Yeah, that thing's heavy.
That's for real. Yeah,
you don't ever see these going down the road.
Never, man. I ain't seen one in so long. I ain't never think about the old school bourbon. You would think outside the box and do something like this, huh? It's crazy.
Well, you know, we're just finishing phase 2 of the build. What we did in phase 1, put it on the lift, ripped out all the old suspension.
You see, man, that's
nice 4 links front and rear with air, so it's fully adjustable too.
I don't know why I go up and down too.
Oh yeah, man.
That's nice. Come on.
You know, put some nice wheels, nice tires, and just to give it that mean look.
That's sick, man. That's nice.
Full interior redo.
Yeah, that's crazy. I love this here, man. This look like a Slum Thug car.
It was, yeah, sure do something new.
It'll take Bill to make you want an old school 3-door bourbon, man.
I like the wheels on there. You see them wheels?
I love it, man. I love it, bro.
You know, we took off with it, and sure enough, came right back with it. He got bit by the bug and just, you know, had to have more. So phase 2 was getting it back in the shop. We just molded in some cool bumpers for it just to finish off that mean, aggressive look. Welded all up, grinded all down, painted, color match it, and we just fully built the back one, just all out of 1/4-inch material too. So you ain't got to worry about backing into something.
Nah, the bumpers look good.
Oh man, they look crazy.
You know, once we got the bumpers right, you know, we had to make it a little easier to get in and out of it for him too, because
everybody ain't tired of Slum Thug, huh?
Yeah, you know, we had to hook him up and do a little something special for him.
Okay. Let's see what you got
it out.
See what's going on over here.
Right.
Look at that. Still like on a new bourbon.
Right.
Yeah, man. Looks
right.
And it was here too.
Yeah, it's all tucked up. You don't even see it. So
that's dope, man.
His last problem was the car looks so good on the outside, looks good underneath, looks good inside.
Okay.
But man, everywhere you go, people ask, "Hey, what's under the hood?" You'd be like, "Oh, nothing." You know, He couldn't really show it off, so we hooked him up there.
Let's see what you got going under the hood. Come on, man. Whoa! Come on, man. Look at him, man. You see that there, man? What you trying to do? Race it or what?
Yeah. What you doing?
Oh man, that's
wasn't expecting that now, right? You know, so what we did, just a straight pull out, LS out of a truck. It wasn't anything to show off.
Ain't that a pro charger?
They trying to race it. They put a pro charge on a bourbon.
You know, smooth all the core support, smooth the firewall, and finish it off with pro charge. Give him some power too.
Yeah.
He's got a complete package now.
It looks good, man.
Right.
Real good. Well, Bill, you know we came through here for the inspiration. I'm damn sure inspired, man. So yeah, me and my brother gotta find us an old school.
Gotta find us one.
Man, let me know what y'all figure out.
Yes, sir.
You know where we're at.
You know we're gonna let you know real deal.
Man, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Slim, I can't, because you know we're ready. And Ronald, the truck's on its way to you. When you get tired of everything that we've done now, bring it on back. We'll truck, but it's definitely not a fun truck. We're gonna rip every bit of this totally out and just start over. We're gonna bring this thing into the 21st century.
Great Coyote. Should be putting a little over 7 after the tuning. It's a big old motor in a small little place, man.
The side by side is great to get out and just have a good time with the family. It's time for an upgrade. I want to build an all-tube buggy. If this isn't a ground-up build, I don't know what it is.
Oh, look at my girl. Look at my girl.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
new project roll through the doors. Especially, you know, a cool Bronco rolls up, but popping out of the driver's seat.
The beast has landed. Bill.
Is Ted Nugent.
Are these the greatest trucks in the world?
They are, man. I'm a big fan of the Broncos for sure.
Original Bronco. It's an icon, man. I've been Broncoing my whole life. I got my first one in 1970. I got a 66. I got a 73. I got a big Bill Strop fire-breathing 90. I've always had Broncos. I love my Broncos. But this one I've probably had for 30 years. My beloved 1974 Ford Bronco. This is my baby. What you guys do here are miracles of wrench dreams, and I can't wait for you to turn my beast into my dream.
What are you doing with this?
Well, I want it to always be an old Bronco. You know, the look, the history, the icon. I want it to be tough, dependable, highway and Baja. And I know you can do it. I've seen what you've done.
Absolutely.
Probably a lot more horsepower, a lot more torque.
I got something in mind for that.
I bet you got something in mind for horsepower and torque. The bottom line is I want performance and fun. I want,
or has been all his life. He's had these things since these things were new. So he knows all about the Broncos and he knows exactly what he wants. So power. Performance. Reliability is a given.
Number one.
So underneath this thing, we're just going to rip everything out and just start fresh.
Drive line and drive shafts, heavy duty stuff.
Everything 100%. Just bulletproof.
Yep. Well, I need a Baja capable suspension as if I was going to go race in an off-road race, which I did for about a dozen years.
What are you working with under here?
I know you pivot as I do on the heart of the beast. And here we have the heart of the beast. It's a beautiful 360 stroker that really performs well and delivers close to what I'm dreaming of.
Popping the hood on this thing, you see the engine that's in it. It's all right, but this is for Ted Nugent. It's got to have a lot of power. I think the best thing to do with this is just rip all this out. Every bit of wiring, the engine, the trans, and just start fresh.
Bill Strop would be proud.
This is going to be fun.
I know black trucks are cool as hell, but I've seen some of yours. Deep, dark bronze, copper, and all the accessories keep them black. How am I doing? I'm just a guitar player. That sounds pretty good.
That sounds real good. The bronze look on this thing with black accents.
That's my Freedom Eagle. This is my Freedom Eagle. I know this might not be preferable to some custom truck designers, but when you're all done, put my Eagle back on.
All right, you got it. So what do you got on the interior of this thing?
Well, you know, you and I share a dream in the exterior, and I'm sure we share that dream on the interior. The stock Bronco seats are awesome. The speakers are too big. The roll cage, you're going to have to extensifize for me. But I want you to recommend stuff every step of the way, because your trucks are the best I've ever seen.
Well, I already know what to do. We're going to rip every bit of this totally out and just start over. New gauges, new steering wheel, new everything. Something just comfortable.
I've had so much fun working on my trucks all these years, and I know these guys at Extensive, they love their work. This is their dream job, and this is my dream project. We have a dream, and we share it. Bring my beast to life, Bill.
You got it. You know, this old Bronco, it was built to be used. This thing is just meant to go out and conquer things. Every button on this thing, every handle, lever is built for a purpose. You know, just looking over this thing, seeing all the modifications, time is over. There's so many things we can build at the shop that just going to bring this thing into the 21st century and make something really, really, really cool for Ted. Before we start cutting up this Bronco, I really need to take it on a spin and really see what old Ted's working with. When I'm out on a test drive with a vehicle like this, you kind of feel how much power it has. You feel how it handles, how it just drives down the road. You just kind of see where all the improvements need to be. In this case, everything needs to be improved. This thing's a fun truck, but it's definitely not a fun truck. It was good in the past, but now it isn't cutting it. As you can see, didn't take much to get this thing stuck. unstuck, get it back to the shop so we can cut this thing up. What do you think about the little Bronco? Pretty cool, huh?
That's real cool.
Mud a little bit. You know, it definitely doesn't have the power that it needs.
Bill Carlton said something don't have power?
Yeah.
Only 9 out of 10 times.
Ted wants to get in this thing and drive it wherever, however,
off-road, jump, whatever he wants.
He's going to abuse this thing. I want this thing to be able to go 100 miles an hour down the road and just jump over stuff, jump right back on the freeway, haul ass home.
So he drives just like you.
You know, I might have to drive it home and test it out a day or two, you know, just to make sure it's good for him before we give it back. Right? First thing we need to do is get it up on the lip so we can strip out all the old suspension. Everything's got to go. We'll build a super strong, bulletproof 4-link suspension, coilovers, front and rear, something that he can just launch this thing. Got a Stroker 360 in there. Looks nice, decent. You know, it was real cool back in the 80s, but it's definitely not going to cut it now. Rip everything in here, all the wiring, everything 100% out of here. I'm going to put a brand new 5.0 with supercharger on it.
This little thing with supercharger.
Right? Once we get all the suspension built, John and the guys over at Interior Shop can start building something and put back in what's needed. As far as the exterior, of course I like black cars, but in this case he picked a bronze copper color. Of course we'll put our little spin on that to really get the color right on it.
We're getting rid of the Eagle, right?
Man, he was pretty set on having the Eagle on the hood, so I don't know if I can talk him out of that one. Ted's definitely made updates to this Bronco over the years. But we're going to tear all that out. The old suspension, drive shafts, shocks, you name it. So we can start all over again.
Well, there is a bunch of stuff in here.
Bunch of everything bolted down.
What we'll do, I guess, is take the hood, flip it all the way back, and then pull everything out from the top. So we'll take everything, just fold it over on top of the motor, put it on a pallet, wrap it up, and then we'll get ready to put the Coyote in it.
Jamie, watch your fingers, listen. All right, back up. Let me see that, Bravo. Let the truck down some, just a little bit. Now we have it out. We're gonna wrap it up with some plastic, put all the parts on this pallet. We'll ship that back to Ted. He's got 4 or 5 other Broncos. He liked this motor so much, he's gonna put in something else. Buddy.
Look what I got for you today. Crate Coyote, a little supercharger on top. Should be putting a little over 7 after the tuning.
This thing's going to be a huge improvement to what we pulled out of that thing.
This is going to be 100% American flag waving rock and roll.
Going down. Good?
Yeah, good so far. A big part of the custom world is creating custom details. Even in places you don't always look.
It's a big old motor in a small little place, man. That thing fits in there.
Wake up this 74 Bronco. But we definitely can't leave its engine bay looking stock.
Basically, when you open this hood, it just looks squared. It was bed liner, it just looked like an old Bronco. So we're adding these panels in here. These two here to take up the sides. Now we're going to do the front panel that covers the radiator. Kind of made a rough template. This will give us a rough estimate of where we need to be. We'll cut this piece out of a piece of sheet metal. It's going to fit right on the truck the first time. You know, that's a good part about doing what we do. is there's no real book on how to do it. Everybody has their own different way. So with this, it's just kind of free reign to do whatever you want, as long as it makes the engine bay look better. And when it's done and painted, it looks like a lot of thought went into that, rather than just a bunch of scanning and print. What do you think, buddy? You got a cold-ass nose. You know, this is another example of, like, geometry in school, trying to read out of a book, wouldn't happen. Now, in the shop, whether it's a suspension, it's placing a back panels, we use it all the time. Hands-on geometry, I love. Trying to figure things out, trying to figure out angles, this and that. If I would have hands-on learned it like this, I would have been a straight A student. See how this engine bay starts, everything hidden. So when you open the hood, it makes all your attention go to this motor. We want to give him 100% effort on this engine bay. When you open it, it's just a wow factor.
John! Help us grab his top off?
Ted's Bronco just isn't for show. So I have Tim and John building a custom lift that's going to give this Bronco a ton of travel and going to ride super smooth.
So in the back of this Bronco, we're doing a triangulated 4-link instead of just your traditional parallel 4-link with a panhard bar. And what we got is our lower arms starting out wide, coming in towards the frame, and the upper arms starting narrow and go wide towards the frame. And that's what keeps the rear end centered underneath this truck. In my honest opinion, this suspension design is way better for like off-roading or jumping stuff. If you jump off the ground or hit bumps or uneven roads, this thing stays centered as the axle does this. And that's what we want, because he is going to be off-roading this truck. So he has to have the best suspension articulation for it. Now we got a 4-link in place, exactly where we want our rear end. Cycle the suspension up and down. Articulates pretty good, Timmy. This thing's gonna drive really, really good.
So when this Bronco came in, it was originally leaf spring, where the leaf spring held the Bronco up. I need room for the coilover to go to here, up, and as you can see, we're gonna run into the body. So I'm gonna come in here where they've already notched it back for their shock. I'm gonna cut the body out of the way, and then we'll have room to mount the coilover however we want, to mount it properly without having to go around the body. This is the notch on the bottom. So we're gonna continue this line back, flush with the back. I'm gonna cut this, and this will eventually move out to here, and we'll skin the middle back in. As you can see, this thin wall tubing definitely was not gonna hold the truck up. So it's basically made for a shock, not for a coilover.
Off-roading's come a long way since this Bronco rolled off the lot in 1974. And while we're bringing the suspension in the 21st century, John and Brian are going to update the interior.
What's up, man?
What we got?
We got parts. We got a new project going on.
What we got today?
So, man, I'm thinking of the
heat shield?
AR heat shield. What I'm thinking is we take these and use these as armrests. And we can take these rail mounts, get these mounted to the door, take this with the Picatinny rails in it, and bolt it in place. And then
pretty solid.
Yeah. And then down on the bottom of this door, just to break up that flatness, well, I'm thinking we just take out of some ABS plastic and make our own Picatinny rails. We just wrap the door panel over top of those, and this thing will come together pretty quick.
Let's get it. Got my piece of ABS here. What I'm fixing to start doing is I'm gonna put this on this table saw. With this dado blade here, it'll cut us the right width that we need to start making our mock-up Picatinny mounts out of plastic. But now that I've got this panel all cut down to mimic the Picatinny rails, now I gotta cut it into thinner strips so it carries the same design all the way through. Now that these are all cut, you notice these are square versus these are beveled over. And then we'll run them back through so we can bevel the edges to make it mimic perfect. See my bevels here? We are matching now. Our dado blade cuts these little lines in here. We gotta get those out of there. We use this tucking tool. You can just get them in there and push them, pop it loose.
These things are gonna look see where we want to put that at. We got everything cut, modified, ready to go. Get it marked out so we can get the holes drilled in. And then we'll take these rails here that Brian just finished up and get these on the bottom of the door. Get everything locked into place. Once it's all locked in, this panel will be ready to wrap and get it on the truck.
As busy as we are, I gotta make a little time to take the kids out to nature. You know, just clear my mind. Ted's been a huge part of the off-road community for many years, and working on this Bronco has made me think about something that I had in mind for quite a while. You know, it's no secret, I'm kind of hard on my vehicles. I hadn't found one yet that'll hold up 100% of the time when I'm driving. So, I'm gonna start building my own.
I know. It's time for an upgrade.
That was fun.
Yeah. Are you gonna build one of these?
Maybe. It crawls over stuff, but I know we can build something way, way bigger and better.
So does Mom know you want to build one of these?
She don't even know everything. You know, I've been thinking about this project for quite some time. You know, after taking the kids out, this project I'm getting really, really excited about. The side-by-side game has just gotten unbelievably crazy. I mean, these things are 1,000cc, 170 plus horsepower right out of the box. It feels like you're, you know, in a slingshot. But still, those things are very limited. There's always a belt gonna break, ball joint gonna snap every time you take them out. I just want something totally one of a kind, unique, and indestructible. I got some big ideas, some big plans, and I got 4 really big things on the back of this record to get started with.
What is this? Those are some big tires,
right? Yeah, 58 inches tall, 24-inch rim.
Wow. Man, what are your plans with this thing?
You know, the side-by-side, but it's definitely limited, right? Well, with these, I want to build something that just pretty much limitless.
That's really scary coming from you. Right. Really scary. So you want to build a buggy from nothing.
We're going to build everything around these tires.
That's going to be fun.
Big shocks, big 4-link with big military axles, so I'll never have to worry about snapping axle or anything like that. All tube chassis and big Cummins diesel in this thing.
Oh, so, diesel?
Yeah, just over the top and just indestructible is what I want.
You found the limitations on your Baja truck. You found the limitations on your side-by-side. I know you're going to push this to the limitations.
Well, you know, you got to test everything out to see where those limits are, right?
So does your wife know about this?
You know, Keegan asked me the same thing. She ain't got to know everything. Right?
All right.
You know, most of the time, you're starting out with a car, a truck, lifted, lowered. You got a kind of idea of what your parameters are. On this specific build, we're starting out with tires. That's it. Pretty much all of this build is in my head. One of the first things when you're designing something like this, it totally depends on the wheelbase, the stance. You know, once you get the tires in place, once those proportions look good, first you get the floor built. You figure out where the engine's gonna be. You figure out where the seats are gonna be. Once that's established, then you start building the cage itself. Then you start building the front end around the engine. Then you start building the rear end around shocks. All that comes into play, and you can only establish that in stages. Once you establish all that, you can actually start cutting some metal and start building. We finished the custom 4-links on the Bronco. Now John and Tim are going to make rear shock towers.
Now, due to having a tall, long travel shock, we have to go higher with the shock mount. So we had to build this hoop that's going to get welded to the frame and raised up about a good 10 inches higher, so the top of the shock come out way up in the truck, which is going to give us the distance we need from here to the axle to accommodate that long travel shock. Like about a half inch from the bottom. There. Now we got our shock tower in place. All we got to do now is make our shock mounts to attach the shock from here down to the axle.
Are you done now?
So I'm waiting on you. Now I got the shock in place, set up at right height. Now I just got to add some reinforcements to the shock tower that are going to go a little something like that and connect it down to the frame. Put me some reference lines up there, get them spaced right. Got cut on that line there. Not only is this going to give this shock tower a whole lot more strength, but it also has the signature extensive aesthetic with this little step out here on the frame and then the tubing put it up to it. Now, if you see a style like this out on the road, you know this came from Extensive. Ted's going to abuse the crap out of this Bronco. So he's going to need some good coilover shocks to go with this heavy-duty suspension we're building on it. These ain't your ordinary shocks you go pick up at an auto parts shop. These are designed to take a beating. Anything he wants to drive it through, this shock will handle. We're going to mock up one of the shocks without the spring. Long travel suspension means that your suspension will articulate a lot more than what a stock suspension would. And in this case, you got 12 inches of suspension travel on this truck. Wish I had 4 of them for my truck. Then I'd paint it and wash it.
Nice. All right, so we got our new foams for Ted's Bronco. These have been modified a little bit. They've got these bolsters made into them to help hold him in the seat a little better. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna take our foams. We're gonna start drawing out our patterns on this so we can get it all figured out and get everything to size. That way we can take that and transfer that from our foam into our material. Then we'll have something to sew together. I'm just transferring my patterns into this chipboard here for my insert. We'll cut this out. So what I'll do is I'll just use these pieces to get everything lined out and drawn out on top of my vinyl. All right, got it all drawn up. Everything's laid out. Next thing I'm gonna do, sit down and start sewing. Put some thread in this material. Pretty intricate on this because your last stitch will land exactly on the point where you want to turn. Because if you're off on your turn just a little bit, it won't line up with the next line. Then your whole pattern gets off. That's done. Now all we gotta do is cut it out. All right, that's one piece of one part to the mini parts we have to make. So I gotta get started on this. We'll get everything transferred on the rest and get them all cut out and start sewing them together.
With the new Coyote custom shocks, suspension, it's really important to keep the Bronco running straight. And John's working on that right now.
Now that we're done with the suspension, all we got to do is add the steering shocks to stabilize the steering. With these big wheels and tires, you need some kind of absorption to absorb all the shock that the tires are going to be going through. So we're going to put 2 of these in line as so, and these are going to take all the shock out of the steering. So I got my mounts cut out, and these are going to be placed here, centered with the differential. Now we're going to mount 2 shocks here, one going this way, one going that way, fixed to the steering. Now we got the shock mount in, shocks mounted, everything's in line. Now all we gotta do is make the last final 2 tabs on each end. We're gonna put these up to the end of the shock, 21 3/4. That's what we want. We'll tack that, and we'll steer it to the right, tack that side. Now we got the steering shocks on. As you can see, The steers left and right is going to make for a smoother ride while Ted's taking this thing off-roading.
Now that John's finished up with the steering on the Bronco,
ready to get this body off?
It's time to blow apart the frame and suspension.
We're going to get this frame moved out of the way, get another dolly in here to set the body on, and get the body over to the body shop. We got the chassis out from underneath the body. We got the shocks off out of the way. It's time to finish welding everything out since everything's just tacked in place for now. Get that all welded out, get the engine off, and then this will get sent off powder coat.
You know, I've never built before. I want to build an all-tube buggy. Of course, with any project, you want something, you know, pretty much indestructible. You got to start out with some indestructible parts. So I'm going to meet up with a friend of mine, Charlie. He's got some military trucks in his property, so we're going to dig around, see what we can come up with to really get this project started. What up, Charlie?
What's going on, Bill?
Man, I need your help. You know, I want to build a buggy, just something I can take anywhere and do anything with, just something totally indestructible. And I know you got those military trucks back there. What better axles to use than those big old deuce and a half?
I got them hid back there in the bushes. It's growed up pretty good, but we're going to have to get past the guard donkey.
You got a guard donkey?
I carry carrots, so they don't bite you. Me and Bill go way back. We've been friends for about 25 years. They called me. I had a tow truck at the time. I went out there and he had a truck, the airbag blowed out of it.
Man, you really do have a donkey.
Got it up on the truck, got it hauled to the shop and dropped off without any damage to it. We've been friends ever since. Here's a carrot. You're going to have to become his friend before the day is up.
Come here, buddy.
I got a donkey because the donkey is loud. You can pet him, it's barking all the time, but when you hear my donkey holler, you know somebody's in the yard.
Man, he don't look too bad, Charlie. So all you need to do is bring some carrots and I can have whatever I want, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Where are these axles at?
Back here in the back.
Charlie, you got crap everywhere.
I got a hoarding disorder.
Yeah. That's a totally different show.
This place, been here about 20 years. I collect a little bit of everything. I got boats, jet skis, front end loaders, fuel tank, Volkswagens, Jeeps.
What are you gonna do with this?
Thinking about making a restaurant out of it one day. But, you know, I might make a hunting cabin. The houseboat, I was gonna take it out to my place on the lake, but the community rules didn't like the idea of me bringing it up there and making a cabin out of it, so this is as far as it's gotten. Well, here she is.
That's exactly what I need, Charlie. What, he's 2.5 tons?
Yes, sir.
You got a tree growing through this thing. How long has this been back here?
Well, we count the rings on that tree. Tell you how long it's been sitting there.
Well, this is it, man. You know, I can't haul this thing.
No, I'll get the loader and drag it out.
Man, I know you're going to give me a good deal on these things.
I'll figure out something for you to trade out on. You might have to get some carrots from a donkey.
All right. It's been a while since these have been operational, so we'll need to fix them up. But these axles are exactly what I need for my buggy. If this isn't a ground-up build, I don't know what it is. So far, we have axles and tires for my off-road buggy. Because we're building this from scratch, sourcing the right parts is even more important. And the list, it just keeps growing.
What's up, boss?
What's up, man? Need some parts
for your buggy. Need a lot of parts.
Got the diesel engine.
Diesel
family. Bring the engine. Bring the trans. We got tires. We need column, steering wheel, seats. Because all of the builds in my head, each part we get just kind of influences the next one. We need wheels. We need big wheels. Gotta have to make them.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have somebody make those.
Yeah. Shocks. We need big shocks.
So So I want like some big 2.5 or a 3 with a big remote reservoir.
Correct.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you already know. Once we get all the parts, we can go to the next phase of design and start building something we've never built here at the shop before. And we'll get there, I promise you that.
I think that's a manageable list. I think I can knock that out pretty quick.
With this being a personal build and us being as busy as we are, it's going to be slow and steady. You know, I finally want something that will hold up to my driving.
That's a tall order, but
right?
That's what we got to do then.
That's what we're doing.
Right on. I'm with it.
We're doing it.
It's going to be awesome.
While the body guys are finishing up on the 74 Bronco, John's getting that much closer to buttoning up that custom interior.
Got the panels all ready to wrap, and cool idea just turned into a pain in the butt idea.
Let's build Picatinny rails. Wrap them in vinyl. I'm gonna start questioning you from now on what these great ideas are.
Working on these door panels, they've been a real pain to get these details, but that's kind of what we do around here, you know. We make it different, try to outdo ourselves. You know, I've never made a Picatinny rail before, much less tried to wrap one. Anybody else? Just like that, the door panel for the Bronco is finished. So all of our time so far has just been spent making pieces and patterns and panels and all that good stuff. So now all we're gonna do is sit down here and put it all together. Wanted to personalize these a little bit for Ted. Had the embroidery shop embroider his logo directly onto it. It's gonna look pretty cool on top of the seat. All right, that's the last pieces of the covers for Ted's truck. Test fit these, just make sure they fit just right. The logo turned out really nice up here. Gives us a nice personal touch. Everything worked out good. The lines are nice and neat and straight. Get this thing buttoned up. We'll get them in the truck and we'll be just about done.
Ted said he wanted stray away from the black. He wanted some color this time. And he said he wanted some, you know, like a bronzy kind of coppery color. So I'm looking through little color chips to kind of see what would look cool. I'm definitely feeling the copper color, but finding that right one is always difficult. We're getting close, or I think that right there, I think that's it right there. The perfect color for Ted's Bronco. Every color kind of plays upon the wheels, tires, the stance. You know, when it's picking color for myself, nothing to it. Hey, I like that color. But when you're picking a color for someone else, especially Ted Nugent, you want to make sure it's right for sure. All the metal fabrication, all the interior, all the wheels, tires, suspension, all that is void if the color isn't right. So this is a crucial stage in any build. I think probably a black roof along with glossy black suspension, maybe color match bead locks on the wheels. That'd just totally make for not only a huge transformation, but just something that just looks mean, and Ted's gonna be happy to be seen in this. Ted said he wanted to transform this Bronco into a beast. And seeing the rolling chassis come together, new wheels, tires.
Too much, right there.
You know, I don't think you could call it anything else except a beast.
There is a Bronco cult, and I may be the czar of the Bronco cult. I'm not just the Motor City madman because someone thought I was. I really am. I was born in Detroit in '48, and you add the horsepower Detroit guy to a bow hunting outdoor maniac like me, and by the time I got my first Bronco in 1970, I thought I was like Mickey Thompson and Bill Stropp and Parnelli Jones at the Baja. Even though I was only in a swamp in the Michigan woods, those off-road races were the research and development of what we now enjoy, even with the brand new Broncos coming out. There's Bronco Dreams, and then there's Texas Metal Extensive Bronco Dreams. I can't wait to get behind the wheel and just go nuts.
74 Bronco. But before we give it back, I want to surprise Ted with one more detail that I know he'll love.
That's a whole lot better place than the hood. That's pretty cool. Freedom Eagle.
We've been working on this Bronco for him for quite some time. It's a huge journey, a lot of work. And today is the day we find out how good we did. If we did all right, or if it's Ted Nugent approved.
Bill, good to see you.
Man, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
I can't wait to see what you've done to my girl. I have these big dreams.
You know, I'd be lying if I say I'm not nervous right now about what you think about your truck, because I know you have such extensive history with Broncos, and I know you know every nut and bolt on a Bronco.
I do, yeah. I might know the history of Broncos, but I'm looking forward to the future of the extensive Bronco, because I have a funny feeling that this is unprecedented. And if you would please bring me my girl ASAP before I go nuts.
I'm ready to show you this. We've been all working hard.
Begin.
Let's check it out.
Oh, look at my girl. Look at my girl. Bill, you're my man. You're my Bronco daddy. All praise the mighty Bronco. This is a dream come true, Bill. And thank you so much. This is exactly what I envisioned. Say hallelujah, Bronco cult everywhere. It sounds beautiful. It looks beautiful. It smells beautiful. Wow. Congratulations, gentlemen. You're my Bronco czars. I'm glad you don't play guitar. I'd have to quit. You pushed my limits. You beat the living out of me, man. This is, I just love this.
His reaction totally sealed the deal. We know we did a good job. First thing, you know, it was a nice truck, but we had to get it up on the lift and just rip everything out.
Yep.
Everything is 100% brand new.
Those long four-link bars, extended travel coilover shocks, so you can take this thing through anything and ride comfortably.
Michigan swamps haven't got a prayer. I see it all. The custom bumpers, the lights, the roof rack is just unbelievable. With all their unique, creative, original classic Bronco image, but you fortified and augmented it. It's Bronco art. It's got that burnt orange copper bronze thing going on. And you even got the matching bronze on the axles and on the pigs.
With the black suspension, you know, black frame. You want a little color down underneath there,
yeah,
right?
This color combination is absolutely perfect. And the word perfect is so rare nowadays.
Ted, I know you're going to be spending a lot of time in it.
I will.
Check this out.
Let's check it out. Oh, boy. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Look at my new home on wheels. How beautiful is that?
We couldn't leave well enough alone, right? So we just ripped everything down to the sheet metal, upgraded everything. The seats, the headliner, the door panels. We just had to incorporate.
Great touch, man. Those look like Nugentized door panels to me. Perfect. The more you can Nugentize, the better life you have. You've really checked off all the boxes. This is going to be my daily driver. It's not a show truck, but it's a go truck that happens to be a show truck. And I'm not going to treat it too tenderly. I will respect your artistry, but she's going to be a workhorse.
I know you had to keep the Eagle. We had to keep the Eagle.
Had to keep the Eagle.
But, you know, we kept it. And it's here with it. You can touch it at all times.
You made a great decision, man. Thank you so much.
Well, if you like this, wait till you see under the hood.
I can't wait to see under the hood. I love under the hood. It's all awesome, but I have a funny feeling this is going to be my favorite.
Me too.
Oh, my God. I don't think that's legal in Detroit. That is so beautiful. Look at that.
The engine that came in here, it was all right.
That's nice.
Nothing compared to the new Coyote, especially with the supercharger on. Max tune, you're probably about 7.
That'll do.
Pushing a little over 7.
That'll do. That'll get me where I'm going.
To
get this beast in an old Bronco. Congratulations, you
One
guys.
thing we wanted to do for you was leave everything you need accessible.
Right.
But everything else is all under the panels, so you don't see none of that. Out of sight, out of
It's
mind.
an engineering masterpiece. Again, this is the way everybody should do it. That engine compartment is so clean and so efficient. What he does to the engine bay, it's literally artwork. I had visions and outrageous ideas, but you guys actually kicked my ass. I'm going to go to these old Bronco rallies, and the rest of the Broncos are going to part like the Red Sea.
Let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride. I'm driving.
We all put 100% old truck. It's a huge honor for myself and my team to put our skills, our passion, and our just love for what we do into a project like this.